hitting the button here.
Right. So we're going to be on.
All right, you're on whenever you're ready.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of, well, I guess you could say it's either north or south or hang on to your shorts or whatever. It's everything. So we're just here for a special version today of podcasting. And I'm CJ Cullen.
Chris Corey.
Morgan Barth.
And so we're here today because we have a film festival coming up. And usually that's what we have. We have a lot of guests in here from promoting our film festivals because there's many of them. So this one here is it's actually the 5th annual Middletown South Film Festival, but also now North is coming. So it's kind of the North and South kind of film festival that's going on at 6:30 on this Friday. So
yeah, 900 Nut Swamp Road, Middleton High School South.
Is that the address? I never knew the address. I've been here my whole life, and I don't know the address.
I think you just kind of feel it out. And in fact, I've never been to South until I think I started working there. And I lived in Middletown forever.
Someone just asked me the other day, I'm like, Nut Swamp Road, you see the trailer tracks, it says a big sign, you make a left.
Right, exactly.
It's okay, I've been there 3 years, still don't know how to get there.
Still can't get there.
Can't get there, right? Drive down that
They call
road.
it the swamp. They call it the swamp.
I remember when it looked like a swamp.
Yeah.
They used to have the football field was just a swamp. It was just like they would play football on it, and it was really bad. I mean, have you ever been, you said you were over there. Were you ever there when they didn't have like lines and it wasn't flat? It was like basically a big swamp of playing football.
I think it was developed. I mean, the only thing I know is, if you go down there's a military road
Yeah,
right
the military
by
road, yeah.
Middletown South, I believe, and you're not allowed to drive on there. If you get on there, like they
get
like
ticket.
they drop the hammer on you.
Yeah.
But if you just go a little farther, then you hit the school. So that's all. That's all I know about.
Well, like the North South games are there, but back in the day, there was no turf. It was just mud.
Oh yeah.
It was just.
Well, I guess that's why they had to put in that field because it's
had
like
to.
you can't. Yeah,
It would rain. It would be.
I get water in my room sometimes. Oh wait, I shouldn't say that. Everything's state of the art.
You get birds in your room.
Yeah, we're going down.
Oh my God.
Ixnay.
I go that way.
Change the subject. Anyway, so this Friday we're doing this really cool 2 high school film festival. It's the culmination of everything we work towards all year. And at this point, I think we have between the 2 schools 35 and 38 films, short films. There'll be awards. Admission's $5. And, you can't really beat that. And I think the run time's going to be, we were talking before.
2 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours, right?
Yeah, like a Scorsese film, a little shorter.
Yeah, a little short. But only you get 37, pieces of content in there. So I'm excited. I did an audio check today and a visual check. So the first reel I think is done, and I think the first reel is like 23 films.
Did it look good?
Yeah, I think it looked good.
Oh, they're looking nice.
They're looking nice. Why, you saw them? No. Oh, okay. So you're lying.
Hey, you gotta hype it up.
No, you're right. You're right.
You got to come. Well, there's a lot of filmmakers.
You
so.
what you told me to say.
Right.
You got the good mic over there. That's one of the newer mics that you're talking in there. So you get nice, clear voice. Right? I think that's one of the brand new mics that you saw one day in the city. Were you in the city when you did that?
No, I was at the Guitar Center in Ocean. And, saw that beautiful. It's a special edition matte black version of the microphones we use here. So only for special guests only. Morgan, enjoy.
Yeah.
Hey.
So Morgan is a student at South, and this is your first film festival. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So why don't you tell us what you're feeling? Like, are you nervous? Are you excited? Where are you now? We're June 13th,
around there. I
something
think
like that.
That sounds right.
Versus when you came up with your idea, which I know was completely different, back in April. Could you walk us through that a little bit, or?
Well, okay, so I'm really excited, but I'm also super, super nervous because, I don't know, it's going to be my first festival, and then this is also kind of my first successful film, because out of the 3 marking periods, I had one movie, it was just like, what are you even doing? I didn't know what I was doing. Next one, it was all right, and then third one was sort of okay, but then this year, it was like, whoa, like this marking period, sorry. We had this idea of this really, nice love story kind of going on, And, you know, first it was the actors dropping out, and then group members couldn't come, and...
Sounds like a regular production.
No money involved. Well,
No
no,
money.
there was some money involved because you built...
Yeah, I did. I built this huge space tunnel, got trapped in it halfway, but, you know, finished it.
It's like welcome to the movies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And we ended up having that idea, and it didn't work out because of so many things stopping that. And we were kind of like at a point where I was like, okay, I don't even know what to do anymore. I ended up going home that night and having like a severe stress, like induced dream. And it was just of me like, basically it was my entire short film.
Right.
Like I took my dream and I just went out the following day and shot for like 7.5 hours straight.
Okay.
And just got like crap ton of shots and just went for it.
Right.
Went with it.
Yeah, it's funny how it works. Sometimes it works out, you know.
Yeah.
It takes on... I don't think you ever make the film that you set out to make.
No, never.
Not at all. But you
try
try.
to.
Yeah, you try.
And then you're like, oh, this looks good. Oh, maybe this. And
Yeah,
it changes.
It takes a life.
It's like telephone.
Yeah. And you're never done with your film, ever, pretty much.
Well, see, that's what you got. You have to be like, you have to put it aside and be like, I'm done with it.
Yeah.
Like my first
Oh,
film,
yeah.
I don't even watch my first film ever. Like, really? I did that thing?
Oh yeah,
It's out there, but I'm not watching it.
Yeah.
Like for now, I was like, okay, it's good enough. We're just gonna put it in the festival and just done.
Yeah.
And then
But you did a lot of work on it, and I think it truly evolved from one completely different thing into
Yeah.
this other animal, and I think it's a really nice ride. I think people will be scratching their heads maybe, but
Yeah,
you know,
just a
you might be
bit.
committed, but no.
Might have some questioning afterwards, but
Yeah.
you know what?
I think one of the best feelings, though, is in your first film festival, your first film, and you're there, and you're actually watching your film, but you're watching everyone's reaction and seeing
Exactly.
how they
Yeah.
react to it.
Yeah.
I remember the first one. It was in 2010. I was in Hoboken International Film Festival. I
Right.
couldn't watch my movie. I just watched everyone around. I'm like looking at everyone's face.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
and I was so nervous. I'm turning around in my seat constantly, and then it looked really cool on the big screen for the first time.
Yeah.
And that just changed everything.
Yeah, I whenever I haven't shown a film in a while, but whenever I show the stuff that I've made, it's like looking around and
Yeah.
I'm like getting cold sweat on the back of your neck, that kind of thing. But I did it's kind of the same thing when I watch you guys show your work. Like I always want to see the audience reactions, all that kind of stuff. Like this past weekend, we had a film festival, New Jersey Young Filmmakers, and I would go up and I'd look, did they get a laugh or did they miss that? Because it's what your intention was when you make something. There's a moment, and you want to extend that moment when you're when it's on the big screen that you put so much work into. And sometimes it's like no one gets it. Like-
Yeah.
Or other
It's
times
like,
people
no.
totally get something completely
Or
different.
if you make a comedy and in one fest everyone's laughing, then you go see it at another fest and it's crickets.
Or you make a drama and they're laughing.
Or it's like a horror movie and they're like slapping their knee laughing.
Oh,
like,
ooh, yeah.
ugh.
Yeah.
It's like The Room, the movie The Room. He intended to make a drama.
Right.
Everyone laughed.
Oh, man.
So now it's a comedy.
I guess that's what I'm like kind of nervous about because I'm gonna be like Niagara Falls in my seat and I'm just gonna be like, are they gonna laugh? Are they gonna like it? Like,
Right. Yeah, well, I mean, do you feel like more confident? You feel more confident,
oh,
right?
I definitely feel so much more confident than when we like first started off and everything because I've lost all hope in it and then after that dream it was like I kind of know.
Right. I mean, and I think that's the thing when you're in that creative process, you kind of just have to stay. I understand sometimes you need to walk away, but sometimes you stay with something and something happens. Like Vic's film.
Yeah.
The one with the paper animation kind of thing. They were basically going to kill each other. Like they couldn't stand each other. We had to have a sit down,
Yeah.
a therapy session, and then they figured it out, and now they have a successful film. So
Yeah,
Well,
I was through that.
That drives you
session
nuts
halfway through
sometimes
it.
when you have to do those kind of
Right.
films.
now, so we've both been working in film for years,
Yes.
and now we're teaching. Congratulations, you got the gig at
Thank you.
Middletown
Yeah,
North.
so we'll
You
be
excited?
there every day full time instead of like even. I was telling him today that I was so tired the other night because I just doing all this different stuff, but I work
Right.
every other day.
Right.
So I went to sleep last night tired. I woke up and it was bright out, and I jumped up and I'm like, did I just miss school? And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not working today. It's a B day.
Right, right.
But all year I got through it, but today I just
Right.
I woke up and I'm like, I think it's an A day and I should be in third period right now.
Right. Oh man, that freaks me out. If I think I missed school or something like that. Oh yeah.
That's one of my worst fears, and I thought it happened for a split second. I wake up because it was bright outside. I wake up, it's dark out, so I couldn't believe that. And then I talked to you, and I was like, it's not an 8 day. Well, next year I can't do that. I got to get up every day and not miss it. So,
but in some ways that's easier. I mean,
yes,
maybe not easier, but
into it
you get into your routine and all that.
I can't stay up late and do this edit or do this. You just got to learn to.
Yeah, I'm dying to go to bed like right now. Because I can. I'm just gonna put my head down and I'm just snoring in the background.
I got a lot of editing in my head that I got to do. So
you got to do okay.
A lot of editing and a lot of filming.
Mute your mic, put your head down.
There's a lot going on.
Catching some Z's.
So
at least it's the end of the year, but that's a good thing,
right? I think the thing is though, everything's getting probably the same for you. Everything's getting crammed in, and you have to make sure like, did I tie up this loose end, that loose end, everything.
Yes.
Like I'm doing that thing with Mr. Bears next week. We're actually shooting. We're actually interviewing.
When is that going to be done?
We have a deadline. It's Sonic Highways through the Rock and Roll Forever
Foundation. Is there a
Foundation.
festival for it?
Yeah, we're showing it in Atlantic City,
yeah.
in October. But we got Steven Van Zandt. We're going to interview him, and
next week.
Yeah, in his place in New York City. So, excited and nervous about that at the same time. So. But so you're finishing your first year.
Yes.
What do you have anything like you think was like really like great versus like really stressful? You might not even want to say the stressful ones, but I mean like like something like, is it what you anticipated? Because I know you worked at South for a while.
Yeah.
We'd talk and you'd be in my room and I'm kind of amazed. I'll say this before you answer. We talk about your students' success and my first year, I had one film that got into a film festival. You've had multiple films in multiple festivals, probably 5 or 6 festivals at this point, maybe more.
Yeah, 5 to 7, but a couple of them were online internet ones that I threw in there. That got in,
yeah,
and they got nominated for stuff. So
right.
I just you pick the right fest, you know what they're looking for, and I'm like, oh, we have this kind of film, I'll put that in.
Right.
And it helped us out. It gets the kids out there.
Well, I think it makes students want to take your class.
I think that's kind of what happened. They're like, wow, we got into a film festival. Not many of them. My theory is when these kids go to a festival for the first time, they love it so much, then they get the bug for it. So a lot of mine have not been able to make the festivals yet.
Right.
So the ones that have, they're like, oh yeah, I want to go to this one. I want to do this one. I want to do more.
Right.
Because they had that experience. But I think a lot of them just kind of put it on the wayside until they actually go and do it.
Right, and they'll put it off, and it's I can watch it online. But when you watch something online, it's passive watching, it's passive viewing. I think versus when you're in a theater, your attention is, it's directed at a very specific area, the screen.
But a lot of students they did a pretty good job with some of this stuff, and we made a lot, and we worked really hard all year. We're pumping. Some of them just didn't work out. we tried.
No.
We did. No, but as first starting out, I want everything to work out, and then when they don't, you're like,
well, how many films do we sit through?
Yeah.
There's a lot of films that are not great.
I guess as you go on, and next year the bar gets better and higher, and then you watch it like, I like that, but so that's how I kind of feel sometimes. Right.
Yeah.
But I'm like, oh, it could have been so good. It had such a great idea, but it didn't work out. We did this one. There's this one kid that we have in one of my classes, and he loves wrestling. So he's freshman, but he does a group with all these seniors, and they love him. But he takes charge, and he just wants wrestling stuff.
Right.
So we came up with this wrestling game show. It was a great plan, great strategy. We put it together. And it's funny, but it just fell short. It just wasn't the right things the right timing. We needed more time, needed to put more things in it. And then they wanted to move on. They're like, all right, we did it.
Right.
Let's move on. I'm like, no, we got to do this. But that's
that was
it.
with Pictionary.
Right.
Like I had this
That's
idea.
a Phil Morgan.
It was a third marking period that I made it. And it was about me, this character, she got stuck in Pictionary, and it was cool, and Corey even said, it was kind of there, but
needed something else.
It was something else.
That happens a lot.
I just couldn't figure out what that something else was.
Right, and I think that part of it, there is a motivation of a grade, to a point where you're like, well, that's all right, that's good enough. And you know how it is, like
Time constraints too. The kids are like, oh, we
Right.
did it, we got it done.
that's what I mean. Yeah,
Let's move on to another one.
right. And some of them just want to do it and get it over and done with. Whereas I think if you're really, I don't know, I think if it's in your blood to be a filmmaker, you have to. It's almost a compulsion. I think Scorsese says, like, if you're making your film and you're not sick to your stomach, then you're, something's wrong. You know, something's not working.
I
But-
literally live in your classroom.
Right.
Like I'm editing.
I'm gonna let her take
24/7.
over.
Yeah.
She does an impression of me, and she's just mean to all the kids. Yeah. She's like, your storyboard? Here.
That's one thing that a lot of kids don't like to do. And
Storyboards?
Storyboard.
Oh, or talk to me.
I guess both. No,
Yeah.
storyboards. I mean, it does. I mean, I tell them it does help them. I'm like, you don't have to draw. They're all worried that they have
Stick
to draw.
figures.
I'm like, stick figures. I can't draw.
Right.
But I set the scene, the shot.
Right.
So I said, they get used to it as they go.
Yeah.
But they didn't like the storyboards too much. They'd
Yeah.
rather just do shot lists
Uh-huh.
from the script. I'm like, well.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's all you
And
have
sometimes
to.
you don't. Sometimes filmmakers don't do storyboards.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the
That
way I
was-
was
that
raised.
was the one that
So
we did.
that's what works for me, and it goes to your teaching style, whatever. If you were used to shot lists, then you go with shot lists. But I have always the thing I like about a storyboard is it's visual, and you're trying to tell a story visually, right? And if you deviate from it, you deviate from it. But
That's what I tell them.
Yeah.
They're worried. They make all of them like, oh, we have to do exact. I'm like, no. If you
Yeah.
add to it,
Right.
I said when you hand that stuff into me, you should have scratches, writings, cross outs.
Yeah.
That means you're working.
Right.
I don't want a
Isn't
clean sheet of paper that's all perfect,
Right.
and then I'm watching your film that has nothing to do with
Right.
the shots that you drew.
Do you remember that when I do the thing about storyboards in the beginning of the year and it crumpled it up and
Yes.
like you need to throw up all your ideas onto the thing.
Yeah.
Want to see blood, sweat, and tears on it.
Like
the
physically
messier
just
it is-
hand in your
Yeah.
If you
fluids.
ever see a script supervisor's script and you look at it actually on set, it is just writing of pencil, pen all over the
Yeah.
script, this and continuity marks
Right.
and everything. If you don't have that, and then no one else can follow it
Right.
except that script supervisor. Hey,
Right.
come on in.
Oh, sorry. Hi. How you doing?
Do we have another headset?
There's.
Give me those.
Are these working?
Plug them in.
Okay.
Plug 'em in.
Try to hand them over.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
hand
working.
these over. I'll plug them in.
Thank you.
There you go.
Yeah, the thing I like about storyboards, though, too, is it kind of forces you to think about your shots. And I think a lot of times filmmakers, not student filmmakers, don't think about like using the frame as a language. Like you frame a thing like in a close up for a certain way. You frame something wide for certain effect or whatever kind
Yeah.
of. So finish that. So do we have one of your students?
Yeah, one of my students is here.
Yeah, my name is Yasmin Yilmaz,
Oh, nice to meet
Yep.
you.
and I am a sophomore, and I'm taking his first level TV production class.
Awesome. Are you in the festival this weekend?
Yes, I am.
And what film did you make?
I made Beyond Dreamers. It's a documentary.
The one I just sent you.
Oh, okay. I only got I put it in,
Yeah,
but
I
I
just sent it
have
to you,
yet
yeah.
to.
And also Run.
Oh yeah, and Run.
Oh,
yeah.
Run. Okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I sent you. We did a test on Run.
Yeah.
I sent a photo.
on screen. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We tested that out. That's playing. That's a really good idea. I like that.
Thank you.
No
and
problem.
she made some other stuff during the year too, but it was a lot of. They didn't want to show it. Certain people didn't want it, so we
Yeah,
went
yeah.
through all that. We were just talking about that.
What, your other
so.
group members didn't want to show it?
Yeah, like the actor just didn't want to be seen. So.
Oh, can
Well, wait.
relate.
Wait. Here's the thing. Directing is the last form of acceptable dictatorship.
Thank you.
So you should have just been like, too
Yeah.
bad. I'm doing
Thank
it. You know?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of ideas. But she took this was all you, this documentary, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So-
Okay.
They were like a family friend, and they were like, "Hey, we have them coming over soon. Would you want to film it?" And I was like, "This is also an opportunity, so why not?"
Okay.
Yeah, and it was great because I actually learned more about their history, and I was learning more about their culture also. So it was a great experience.
Okay.
So I filmed it, and I brought them together for the interview, and then I edited. So it was a long film to make, but
And you interpreted it.
yeah,
They're
and
in
I
Spanish.
yeah. So I had to translate at one point because they don't speak any English. So
Okay.
it was very tedious doing the translation, but it was worth it. It was really worth it.
How many days shooting, would you say?
So for the first, I think for the interview took like 2 to 3 days. It was planning a lot, and then when we filmed at the airport, just of course not that long, and then that was pretty much it. It was like 4 days about filming.
But still, that's like, you got to documentary, it's like it could be anything.
Yeah,
you got to narrow that down.
Yeah.
You got it down to, I think, when I got the file, it was about 7 minutes.
It's a long one.
Yeah,
So you
it's a
ha-
long
But you had a 10 one last year, so I was like,
Yeah, somebody's trying to put one in this year. I'm like, no, get it down to 6 minutes. So, yeah, I mean, so how much footage did you have? Would you say you had like raw footage?
I had like hours worth of raw footage because I wanted to like try to figure out because I had a lot of videos of their past, and then on top of that, I had a lot of videos of like the journey of them here, and I had to decide what really does the audience want to see. So I went straight to the airport shot of her, greeting her kids, and then the interview itself. I wanted to keep. I asked a couple more questions than what you see on the film, but I wanted to keep the most important ones, the ones that will keep the audience interested. So it was just lots of editing and cutting out what I don't see is very mandatory in the film.
Okay.
Yeah.
and she got it done in time to get into the festival.
That's
and
most
everything.
important.
Yeah.
There's a few of them out there that are still like, I got to tweak it. I'm like, too late.
Yeah.
Cut off.
It's rough. Well, maybe for the fall. Or something
Yeah,
like
so,
that.
well, actually, I don't know if you saw that, but Indie Street Film Festival is going to be in July, and we can, about 20 minutes each of films we can put together with 2 other high schools, and it will be playing in the Red Bank Theater.
Yeah, at the Bowtie Cinema.
Bowtie Cinema.
Oh, that's cool.
So
that'll be
stay
like,
on my good
was
side.
it like July 15th around there? Or was it
July
about
15th, I believe,
15th,
yeah. Which I love. I think that's great. Like,
And the winner gets to play 2 weeks later in whatever film wins.
oh, okay.
We'll play 2 weeks later in the Indie Street Film Festival 2 weeks after
okay.
that. So it's like its own student section, and then
Yeah.
you get to play it again probably in Count Basie or something like
Okay.
that. So the winning one, whatever.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Well, there's going to be a lot of films because there's
Right.
20 minutes each, 4 schools. What is that?
Well, it
Who
depends
does
on how long.
math?
Yeah. So, no, because I mean, we have. I think we all. I know if it's Red Bank Regional, there's a
Red
guy,
Bank, and then the guy that it's basically watching Brightside, same schools from Brightside. Pretty much.
So there's a kid he's a student filmmaker at Red Bank Regional named John Toohey,
Okay.
and he has a really
Oh, the claymation one.
claymation. Yeah, Burn City.
It's, at first, I'm watching this.
Really
I remember
funny.
at first, though, when it first started, I was like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
It looked so stupid, and then all of a sudden, it went it was so funny after
Right. Yeah, it was great.
after the first minute or so.
Yeah, there's
got
an
into
homage to Taxi Driver in it and all that stuff. So you have that.
It was like
you
a
have,
Pulp Fiction claymation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And then you have Communications High School. So I don't know if there's going to be other schools, but I think that's just awesome.
I think there's going to be 4 only.
Okay.
So it's that school, ours, yours, and
Communications.
it might be
And Red Bank,
it is
yeah.
communications because David Sao
Yeah.
is the teacher there.
Right. Yeah, I don't know that Red Bank has a film class, but I think they have like a media thing and you can choose to do it. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But okay, so Morgan, we asked you a couple questions before, and I was wondering if you could reiterate those questions to, I'm sorry, your name again?
Yasmin.
Do you remember what the questions were?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
I have short-term memory loss.
Yeah, we're
just a bit.
goldfish. Okay.
Yeah, just a bit.
I can ask him. So how do you feel you've grown as a filmmaker from the day you walked into Mr. Cullen's class way back in September? I'm assuming.
She's got a big class. It's like 28 kids in that class.
Oh,
Oh yeah, it's a lot.
Big
were you like,
Yeah.
who's this guy? Like this, versus where you are now.
Yeah, I feel like I've improved so much because like in the beginning I thought, oh, all these shots work. Let me just put it in. I didn't really pay attention too much to like lighting or sound effects or angles. I was just like, oh, this works. It looks like it's showing what I want to show. And then now it's like, oh, okay, so this is not gonna work. Like you want it to look cool. You want it to look cinematic. So I think I've improved with style and formatting the whole film and music also because like that's another thing that like really grabs the attention of the audience. So
Copywritten music.
yeah.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
What's the term or the phrase? Ask forgiveness. It's better to ask forgiveness than permission.
But the she's very good at the new editor. You know how like we got the new version.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
I
Which-
love
mid-year.
the new version.
You
Yeah.
do?
They do.
Yeah, I really.
Am I
like the
just
new version.
old? Like, are we
I
just
like the
old?
old-
Because the old version to me is so much better. But
Yeah.
there are some instances, like today, I was working on the new one because
Yeah.
the old one would not go for me.
Right.
Like, I have the contrast, and it wouldn't go right. So I put it in the new one, and it worked.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't understand why it didn't work in the old one and it worked in the new one. But it's just like things are placed differently. Like I was looking for titles the other day in the new one. I'm like, where's the titles?
Yeah, the titles are ridiculous. Because it took us. I think there was. I don't know if it was your class.
I could never find them.
like 2 days
I
to
forget
find the
where I
scroll.
put. Yeah,
Yeah.
I forget where it is. Then I haven't done it in a while. So I'm like, where was that titles
No,
again?
it was our class because Maya and I were like freaking out because we were like, okay, it was here
Just
before.
trying to roll the
it's been
titles,
out
right?
Yeah, you roll it.
Just really simple,
And
like,
it's really
placement.
simple.
Yeah, it is.
Because you're used to the other one. Okay, it's titles
Yeah.
right here. You go like that, and the new one, they're all over
Yeah.
the place and
'cause,
different
like,
names.
They also
Yeah,
changed
oh,
the
that's what kills
assembly
me.
too, especially
Yeah.
like people
Yeah.
are like working on the computer. Someone would be on it and they change the workspace.
I
And so
changed
then
it.
Oh, I hate that.
you change
Yeah,
it
because you
also.
could go
changed
from one
it.
computer and be
Yeah.
like totally
Yeah,
cool,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
to another,
and then
it's
it's
just
like,
completely
whoa,
different.
where did everything go?
Like-
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I go back to an old project that I know it's placed right,
Right.
and then erase that project so I have it all placed right because I forget where
you
to.
can just go to your workspace and I think it's reset workspace,
Yeah,
something like that,
yeah.
and it should be the normal layout. But
But-
that's because I don't know about you guys.
We're old.
I'm a
so-
20th century kind of person.
Whoa.
Not a twin.
Don't want to step on you.
Exactly.
But when you get used to a certain type of editor,
Yeah.
and then you change it all of a sudden, it drives you nuts.
It's counterintuitive.
When
It messes
yeah.
with your flow.
It messes with
Yeah.
like, oh, where's this? So it's mostly just placement of where things are.
Right.
For that, because it's still the Avid.
Yeah.
But when I was younger, I learned how to edit on all these other systems, and I was in college senior year, and they brought out the Avid. The
Oh,
Avid
right.
editor.
Yeah.
And I was like, I knew all these other editors, even the cut editors,
And the
even the
Avid-
editors that we like did Vulgar on and cut that, or even so I didn't really. I said I don't need to learn the
Yeah.
Avid, so my
And
buddy did.
And the Avid would take up this entire room.
It was big thing.
like,
My
yeah.
buddy would be in there and he editing, and then all of a sudden, like the Avid just went huge, and like people were getting jobs with a lot of money out of it. And I
Yeah.
go, I didn't learn how to do that.
We should write a book. We always went down the wrong road.
But I
like
could
that.
splice it and something, put it together
Yeah.
if I want to. I'm good at that editor.
I kind of miss that though. I mean, used to cut. I learned cutting 16 millimeter film, and you had to you lose a frame. Like when you're off by a frame, you're like, oh, you could just get the source material.
Yeah.
But you lose that one frame from your work print, you're like
Where is
freaking
it?
out.
And you get
Yeah.
the grease tape. Put the
Yeah.
grease tape. In photography, they don't do that anymore, do they?
Yeah, no.
It's all digital.
It's all
It's
digital.
all digital, yeah.
Yeah.
So you can't even go in like the red room and used to do all that.
Yeah, I don't think in high school you're allowed to do that anymore because like my photography teacher told us that like it's dangerous now to do the whole.
Really?
It wasn't
developing.
dangerous back then.
No.
So-
Neither was anything else that we
Exactly.
did. Smoking? Ah!
Yeah.
No, it's
Riding your bike with no helmet? Sure, you're fine.
Sure, not a problem now.
You don't need this.
Yeah, don't worry.
It's
Hey,
okay.
scars build character. Don't forget
Here's
that.
a lot of junk food. It's good for you. you know?
As you just pull up your arm, it's just like scars.
It's just
drag your
scar
back.
tissue. It's a skin graft from somebody else.
I have scars all over me from Action Park.
Oh my god!
Park.
They showed the
That
documentary
movie
to us.
I showed them the
Coming out, I'm
documentary.
pumped.
Oh, you
It's
did?
the funniest. Well, the movie I got to see, but it's the
goodness.
documentary online.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking for docs one day, and I found it, and it was like the best doc. And someone was talking about Action Park.
It's just called Action Park? Or is it called... Is it
If
like
you
just
type in like Action Park
doc?
documentary,
Okay.
there's 2 parts, and it's really, if you put it together, it's maybe about 18 minutes total.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's the funniest doc, and they just show everything, and everything's true. I tell them the kids, everything they're saying is 100% true.
Right.
They can't be. I'm like, yes, it's true.
Right.
And it's all footage from the 80s, and like the commercials, Action Park.
Right.
And they showed like people getting hurt.
I wasn't even aware. Turns out my cousin actually went to it when he was younger.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of it, and he showed me like a scar that he had on his leg going down the concrete slide that.
Oh, yes, that's the worst.
What was that thing
I
called?
forget what it was called.
The
but-
Alpine
What, it was
slide.
Alpine
Yeah,
slide,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Did
Oh.
you
Everyone
sit
got
on
hurt.
It, like,
Yeah.
with like it was like this tiny little sled looking thing,
And you would break?
Yeah, I used to like watch the YouTube videos on
Right.
there, and then be like the worst fails ever. And it was this one
Yeah.
guy like on this massive concrete slide, and I'm like, where is he? And then I looked it up, and it was like it's Action,
Action
Park.
Park. That was the best slide. That's the worst slide.
Yeah.
Did you ever go to Action Park and go on that before me?
I didn't grow up here, so
Yeah,
I was
that's
denied
right,
the
so-
pleasure. But
It
I've
was
heard,
probably closed when you got here.
yes, yeah. But I heard stories. Hospitals were constantly full.
They did reopen it. It's called Mountain Creek now. It is reopened, but
Oh,
it's
right, 'cause
safe
that's the
now.
ski.
But
Yeah,
back
yeah, yeah.
then, they had 16-year-olds like be in charge, and they just let you do what you want. I remember just running off the cliff and jumping. There was no line. You just ran off the cliff and jumped, and you'd hit somebody in midair. Like, it was crazy.
That's crazy.
It's still there, the Colorado River ride. I got thrown out of the boat
Right.
and went down on my body while everyone else was in the boat. I got scratched all over and blood, and they're like, we're sorry about that. You want to go on again? You could skip the line. I was like, yes, I'll go again. I'm bleeding.
The local hospitals should have like I survived action party
Yes.
where it'd be like 30% off if you did.
They had to buy an ambulance to keep an ambulance there 24/7.
Are you kidding me?
There's
Yeah.
like a bumper sticker like saying "I survived."
So
survived action
that's a
party.
great documentary, and of course this movie is based on it. Action Point
Yes,
is
I'm so
loosely
pumped.
Okay.
based on
Okay.
that. Loosely based.
It's almost like weird New Jersey. Like,
It
all
is.
these just interesting, weird things. You know.
But as a kid, I mean,
Dude, that book scarred me.
Oh, we're New Jersey?
Yeah.
I love Weird
Magazine.
New Jersey. Because of Weird New Jersey, I made a horror short that did well for a while. It's about going down a dark street, that one there, the Chris Road.
Okay.
Played in like 10, 15 festivals, did very
Yeah?
well.
Wait, like Whippoorwill? What are you talking
It's
about,
sort
or-
of based on
That kind of
Whippoorwill
thing,
kind
okay.
of a thing, but it was the lady in white who,
Okay.
they do a certain thing and they see the ghost.
Oh, okay.
So they did that, and you're supposed to end up like she warns you to get off the road because there's all the other evil stuff there, and so to continue the story, they get out of the car and all this stuff happens to them. But I had to end it, and I only had 8 minutes, so it just ends on them just disappearing.
Okay, why isn't there any common sense in horror movies?
I don't
Like,
know. I asked myself.
oh,
that
we should
every
just turn
time.
around.
Like her.
We should, I don't, whatever. I mean, but it's just like, there's
Like,
always like some
yeah.
kind of
Has
premise.
anyone
Like,
ever heard of the buddy system? Like, no, you're not gonna go to your car.
You stay here.
Like, you
I'll
stay
be
here.
right
I'll go
back.
check out. No, you will not.
You have to set it up. You have to break it off where the killer goes after one person. So they
Right.
have to say, "I'll be right back."
But what if there was like a new aged killer where like it's just one party and it was just one shot go around. It's just everyone. Like
It would not make a good movie.
it'd be a very short film.
like a really short film.
Yeah.
But
They're
at least it would
reviving
make
all that
sense.
stuff now, but
Yeah.
I like horror, and I work in horror a lot now, and I never did before, but I had so much fun working in it, and it's cheap
Right.
that we just have a blast doing it. So it's a lot of fun.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of production, right? It's like you can
work
it's probably
cheap though.
It's
You
a
could do
great
it
way to
cheap.
hone your skills.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, we have very small crews, very little money, and you try your best to make it look really professional, even though you know it's a horror film.
Right.
So it doesn't have to be that great. And then you release it. We have a bunch of films on Amazon right now that are horror films that I produced.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm like super obsessed with like horror films and like horror movies. And like the hardest thing that I have, because first marking period, I had like the worst failed like horror movie ever, and it was so comical.
But it was your first
Like,
film, and
oh,
the makeup
true.
was amazing.
Thanks.
It was really
Well,
good.
our kids went out for this one kid in class. He put a mask, found a mask.
Oh no! Oh, never.
So we-
that one. Oh.
They went out in the hallway and within a few minutes filmed something like really just for fun for him to so he would stop.
No, he didn't stop.
It never ends.
Well, we put together like a little red band movie trailer real quick, and we took the footage because it was funny. We were all laughing, so we took the footage and put it into this festival, 15-second horror festival. It not only got in, but they put it on their promo on the website.
That's awesome.
And it's just he's got regular clothes on with this killer masked ugly thing.
It's the one in the
chasing.
stairwell.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's only a couple shots, but they wanted to make it look like this guy Rufo is coming after you, and it's like cool music, and it's really quick shots, and they just come and they're running, and it was like making fun of horror. Like they're running up the stairs, and you hear the music, it's like ah! And all of a sudden he runs towards the camera, and it cuts, and it says "coming soon."
Rufo's Revenge.
We just made that up. It's just a horror promo. We didn't have the time, and that was just a project that we were doing real quick. We didn't have time to really do anything, so we did that within like 1 or 2 days. That was it.
Oh yeah, it was really. It was made really quick.
So quickly. So
So I actually had a question kind of for everybody here in different capacities, but like we can start with the students, I guess, first.
Yeah.
Like, where do you see yourself in a year as a filmmaker, and then we can go to you, and then we can go to Chris for his Mr. Cullen rather for his program. Sorry.
Like in a year, I can't wait to be in the advanced class next year, because this year made me realize how passionate I am about film and how I actually want to pursue this as a career, and I really want to be involved like as much as possible, and it's just something that I enjoy. Like I get to take, for instance, like my film Contingency, like that was just a dream, and I made it happen visually.
Right.
Like It's just that kind of thing, and I always have some wacky dreams or like some crazy ideas that I'm just never able to like verbally say, but like visually I could show you in like vivid colors and like craziness.
Right.
But yeah, I'm excited to keep going, like see where my potential takes me, and hopefully using like more of my FX makeup and stuff like that in my films.
If I had to do it over again, all the way back to when, I would love to do special effects.
Oh, I want to go to Douglas Education Center and just pursue FX makeup and then film.
I'm obsessed with the show Face Off.
Yes, their 13th season. I'm crying. I'm crying. Like I was like such a dream. I was like, I'm gonna be on that show. I'm gonna kill it.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, well, you killed my dreams because now it's not a thing.
I was at a film event not too long ago, and there was this guy that I kept looking at. I'm like, he looks so familiar. And this other person, I'm like, that person looks so familiar, but I don't know him. And then all of a sudden someone said, yeah, those two are contestants on Face Off. I'm like, that's it! So I went over to them. I'm like, you were on Face Off. I watched you.
I'm like your biggest fan.
And they were like, wow, that's pretty funny because no one else recognized them there except me.
That's
Can you sign my latex bottle?
And like one of them, like he almost won the thing. It was pretty funny.
Really?
So
What season?
I forget now. I'd have to look back in it. But they're all over. All these people are all over the place here. But they worked on a horror film.
Right.
It's just random. I was like, I was there for the horror film at a party.
Right.
And I'm like, I know that person. I do that all the time, though. But
You know, just casually meet him at a party. I know you.
It's a
And-
horror party.
You look
It's a
familiar.
horror party.
and I'll just go. I have no fear. I'll just go up to the person and be like, say something like that, even if it's a famous person and I don't know who you are. Apparently, that happened with Paul Weasley. And the kids, I heard my story about Paul Weasley. I had no idea who he was. I go, I know you. I went up to him. I know you. And like, you're from New Jersey, right? Like, I know you because you were like friends with friends of mine. And he's like, yeah, no, I'm an actor. I'm like, oh, really? He's like, I'm on this vampire show. I'm like, never heard of it.
That's awesome.
So he kept talking to me because he's like, this guy has no idea who I am. This is great. And then I'm like, wait a minute. No, I know you from something different. And I'm like, before I disappear, that movie, I just saw you in that movie.
Oh, okay.
So that's how I knew him, from that movie, not from the show that every girl talks about, that Vampire Diaries.
I don't know.
boy.
I'm not aware.
Not the
boy.
Vampire Diaries.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
More like, you know.
What's my favorite show?
The babysitting one.
You knew that
the
one.
Babysitting one.
You
was
would've
the
known it right
vampire
away.
Babysitting.
I don't watch that. That's kind of stuff.
That's funny.
So it's just a random moment. And he's like, oh, I'll just talk to this guy because he has no idea who I am.
So Yasmin?
Oh.
Yasmin?
Yeah, Yasmin.
Yasmin. Okay. In a year.
I feel like it's an awesome opportunity that I'm going to be able to take advanced tier production because we're getting used to new
Film
equipment.
TV.
Right?
We got a lot of audio coming in.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so it's going to be like awesome because now we're going to work more with sound enhancements. And I think that's going to be a great help because I'm actually working at it's called the New Jersey Titans, their hockey team.
Oh.
And I filmed their live streams during
cool.
the season. So like I'm hoping that I can start making promotions for them with the help of like learning techniques I'm going to learn from him. So
Okay.
I
I'm
love
hoping
sound.
That's
yeah.
cool.
So I'm hoping that's where I'm heading towards in a year.
Maybe you have someone to do your live streams.
We might have to get, yeah, right? I learned how to do that this year. I'm not a live stream guy. I never was, but I learned how to live stream this
right,
year.
but I'm saying like you can send kids out so you can actually get some sleep.
I know,
Yeah, like
right?
live streams is like a whole
That's a
different
dream.
environment. Like you can't make a mistake, and like hockey is like so fast.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like it was at first I was like, oh, this is not as like easy as I thought it was gonna be. But then like after like 2 games, I'm like, oh, okay, I got the hang of this. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's just kind of like just getting used to certain
Yeah,
things,
yeah.
you know.
What we need are these microphones.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
If we got these microphones, that'd be nice audio, right? Oh, we got to do voiceover? No problem.
Exactly.
Without the
this is great.
snowball.
Yep.
Who needs a snowball?
Hey, snowballs.
We don't even have a snowball.
We
so
have those little like old mics.
the old microphones.
Well, here's
Oh yeah.
like in the background. It's horrible. Oh,
That's awesome.
Though I fixed one recently. I'm walking around with the camera to get better sound. So I've been walking around lately with the microphone and and putting it in people's faces
Right.
to the interview, and it works. It works well.
Right.
But audio is just something to work with, and I got a lot of that coming in. Lighting kits.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I got 2 lighting kits coming. So LED lights, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Small, the small
Yeah,
ones.
yeah,
That
yeah.
little set that you showed me.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
So I ordered that set.
And it throws off so much light, and you can change color temperature with it, and it's
I just bought a light
fantastic.
myself. I have an LED light to put on on any camera.
Right.
About that size there.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. Oh.
Amazing. Oh.
Yeah, I have to find some more. We usually, where do I go? Adorama usually go.
Yes, Adorama's good. You introduced me to Adorama. That's a good site.
I love B&H too. Oh, wait, I guess
B&H
this is
is
like
good, too.
we're plugging something now.
Yes,
right?
I know.
No, I shouldn't do that. Oops.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But it's good though. It's good to get a new equipment and work with it. So I can't wait till this stuff comes in so I can play around with it. So and set things up. So I can't wait to go to this, like you were telling me. What about next year? I can't wait to go to the studio this summer, kind of clean it out to my liking. Because I kind of left it to other people's liking.
No. Yeah.
So now I can do that and go through and in that back room there. That's almost stuff that we don't use anymore. Clean it out. Take the stuff out that doesn't work. Put a nice table in here like this, and audio, and we could podcast.
The only thing about that back room, isn't it like really loud?
It might be. I gotta go.
Or
check it
I
out.
might be thinking of a different room.
I don't think if you're in there. Well, that back room to the left is the most soundproof room there is.
Okay.
That one, but the one to the right, to the right, you have that old equipment.
Right.
But does it have to be on? Not really. Nothing really works.
Right. Okay. Right.
So it's old, obsolete stuff. So if they put new things in, that's not needed. And there's just so much of it. So we could clean it out.
Right.
And if it is quiet enough, have a little table in the front there instead of that desk and everything that's there, and you could do recordings.
Right.
Then you have the Zoom audio. Take that, you take the card out, and you put it into the editor. Boom, you got great voiceover. So it is. If that sound in the room is quiet, that's a soundproof room.
Yeah, I like the way your classroom's set up. I mean, when I say classroom, I mean your space. Yeah, it's like it's nicely set up. It's just a matter of
the only
getting
problem is
working
when everyone's doing different things, running around like
yeah. But that's good. You get your steps in.
Yeah,
Fitbit.
So okay. So I'm sorry. I just have some notes.
Yeah.
What was it? So, for the future of the program, film awards. Where did I?
So I'm excited about the audio. What else can I be excited about?
Well, this film festival.
Yeah, film festival. So
and
upcoming
awards.
Film
That's
festivals,
it.
Awards.
Yeah. That's what I was wondering. What awards? Do we know what awards we're doing this week?
I think you gave me a list and I changed.
No, we know.
Yeah, we know, but we kept changing. We kept changing the awards.
There's none.
I have these certs coming in if you want to use too. I'm just like, I wonder if we have like a North sticker or South sticker to put on the things. But I have these nice little certs that we give out to some people at the other festivals.
Right.
So I ordered some more. I got some. So like just a couple extra awards, like 2 or 3 extra ones, or if we come up with something. Almost on the spot, which is good.
Well, I know we're doing an audience award.
Yeah, we'll do an audience
they'll
award.
Vote. But do we do like maybe 1 and 2? I don't know.
Yeah, so we could do that with the certs and stuff. We could do a second one and have to give out the cert for the second, follow up, because there's a lot of there's 37 films. It'd be nice to get 2 awards.
Yeah.
So there is we have about 12.
Well, we're doing north. Yeah, we're doing north
and a south
separate
split,
kind of thing.
But there's a couple combos. Two of them are combo.
Oh yeah. Well, wait. Which
overall film and audience award.
Right. So 5 Mile is a combo. Is that what you're talking about?
What do you mean?
Like kids from north and south?
Oh no.
You
Just a combo award overall film.
Oh right. Okay.
I could just imagine you guys like on stage, like with the certificate in hand, and being like, "And the award goes to
who's that over there? Yeah, over there.
Well, here's the dilemma.
The kid in the front row.
Here's the dilemma we
I don't
ran.
know your name, but we'll write it on the certificate.
Here's the dilemma we ran into: is that we didn't have I didn't get your film till today.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm not going to say this film won something, and then something else comes in. You know what I mean? Like you have to see all the work.
Well, welcome to the world of film festivals, and I do it all the time. It gets crazy. Yeah, but I like giving awards out too. It's a good thing.
So we actually came with a schedule today. I think I'm showing up at 5:15. Oh, you were in on this.
This was interesting. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's that interesting. So we're showing up like 5:15. Got to set up like the snack table or whatever it's going to be, and then like programs, all that kind of stuff. Hopefully get started at 6:30.
Yes.
We actually have someone to MC it, so I don't know if you were thinking of having someone. Yeah, I don't know
who's doing it. Kid?
If you want. I mean, he kind of would like to do it, but I don't know if you want to say something too, or I mean, we should probably both say something.
Yeah, well, I'll talk to. I like to talk. I like to MC.
That's the thing. We need to cut you off at some point so we can get the show on the road.
Yes. No, I like to do it fast. I've learned to do it faster. No, I'd rather have someone else do it, and then I'll chime in.
Tell them to get in, get out. Okay.
Because sometimes I could go off a little crazy. In the bright side, sometimes I go off a little tangents here and there, but
it's not a bad thing.
No.
It's just if you have
you got to entertain. I used to have a comedian, and I don't
Right.
do that anymore, so now I got to entertain.
Right. Oh yeah, you were telling me that story. How you're like, oh, you're funnier than that guy, or something. Like
I am funnier than that guy. Well, the guy was a little vulgar when he wasn't supposed to be vulgar.
Right. Oh, I remember.
He came running in. Well, he came running in
the bright
from
side
yes.
guy.
He came.
Oh yeah.
He came running in, sweating from the train. He was pouring sweat, and then
Seriously?
I'm sitting there, and I knew his routine. And I'm like, "Don't go with that joke," and he went with the joke.
Yeah,
and I was like,
yeah.
"No!"
Yeah. I saw he jumps across the room in slow motion as
like,
the words are coming out of his mouth. Yeah.
So it was funny. He was funny, but he was just. But he did it the year before, and he wasn't like as vulgar.
I think it was a different crowd probably. Because I know there's some like
students,
younger.
though.
Yeah, there were. Well, I mean,
But you know what? It might have been more college than that one.
Yeah, because college isn't such a big deal, obviously. But
Yeah.
I'm like looking at some of the parents, like, oh no.
Regret.
Yeah. Well.
Instant regret.
I thought, and I thought we
Do
moved
not
on
necessitate.
because he was late.
Right.
He
Yeah.
was late,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
we moved on. Then I let him do his set, and I was like, maybe I should have waited on that
Right.
one. Maybe.
So
they don't do that anymore.
Okay. So intro, I'm thinking that's not 6:40, like play, and then take an intermission 7:50.
I might have some special guests. So if some filmmakers do make it and come,
Okay.
we could do a special jury award.
Okay.
Start jury award if they want to.
So they
can
would do it
vote
at that.
they can vote whoever shows. Say like 3 or 4 of them come, or 5 of them, whatever.
Okay.
They could vote on the best and see who wins.
Do it at the conclusion then, I guess, because they wouldn't have seen anything in advance.
No,
right?
they'd have to sit there and watch it.
Okay.
Maybe that's just an idea because
Yeah,
I
that's
invited a lot of filmmakers to come, and there might be a few that show up.
Okay.
So this guy Dennis might come, but he might not because he's from Brooklyn. He might come out here.
it's a hike.
Dennis, the one that came and visited us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so a lot of people liked him, and so I tried to get him to come out. He likes the student films, but we have a film playing on Sunday.
So
he might
they go
just
to
wait and
Brooklyn,
just
they
go
come back and
Sunday,
forth. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
he
it's
doesn't
tough.
want to stay with me for 2 days. That's
Yeah.
not fun.
So
Just brought yourself down.
so intermission. Then depending on how many more films we get, it'll probably be another hour or so. Clocking in at 2 hours of films, and then little brief. I don't know, we might be doing a 50-50 or something like that.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
50-50.
And then do awards, and then hopefully be out. I'm hoping by 9:30.
Yes.
Or something like
Yes.
that.
Fingers crossed.
Yes. No, if it runs smoothly, that will happen. I think.
Yeah.
It'll be good.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, if everyone has a good time, that's great, and we get some people in. It's tough on a Friday night, I think, though. I know teenagers love going back to school on a Friday night.
I know, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's totally
At the end of the year, much of my seniors.
At the end of the year.
Well, I know there's a lot of things going on, so hopefully we have a good crowd anyway to
Yeah,
come.
yeah.
So I told them there's awards, there's all these movies, we got some guests.
Yeah, I mean, if your film's in it or you worked on one of the films, I think it's a no-brainer. Just show up, you know, because there's nothing like that feeling of seeing your work on the big screen.
Yeah.
You know,
In front of
It's
a crowd of people.
Oh yeah, like
Yeah.
I was just even excited seeing it like on the projector in the classroom, like just imagining it in front of people.
right?
Yeah.
Well, some of our students don't like to. They're like, don't show it in the class.
Yeah.
No, but some are like, you can show it in every film festival you want, but don't show it to the class. I'm
Yeah.
like, what's the difference? They're going to
Yeah,
show
that-
in the festival and see
yeah.
it anyway.
Well, to me, that's-
in the movie, the 2 movies.
It's not. That's not an option. Like
Yeah.
because I used to have kids begging. I'm like, no, you worked
Yeah.
on this. Is what we work for.
Yeah.
This is
We're
why you're
part
in the
of it. Yeah,
class.
yeah.
That like there was kids trying to. I forget what they were doing. They wanted to ask like these questions that were like really didn't pertain to class today. And I'm like, we are in film festival mode. We need to
Yeah.
get this stuff done. Please.
Well, we're in
just-
quarterly mode right now, too.
Yeah, in quarterly. Talk to me next week. You know. No, I mean, but it's like it's what you work for all year is to have your work shown.
Yeah.
We're not in a vacuum. It's like you don't. Let's put it this way: if you guys came into class and we said, "All right, this is just kind of like we're going to do it as an exercise," that's, I mean, it might be cool.
Yeah,
but
you want to show it.
you want to show it.
We're like so far, the Bright Side, Hang On to Your Shorts. We showed a bunch of the films, and the kids came and they
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and I know like Brightside, it's great because like parents come in too, and they can have some food or whatever, and like they can walk around Jersey City, which is great.
And that's coming up again this summer. So
That's right.
I already put a couple of ours in so far.
Yeah, I gotta put some stuff in, but I don't know. Next week I'll be good, I think.
Yeah.
I just got to get out of the festival.
The funny thing is, so school ends the 27th,
Right.
and I filmed the Board of Ed that night.
Ugh.
So after that, I'm off, but then I have to watch 100 short films to choose who's going to be in the fest by July 1st.
Wow.
Because it's
Popcorn ready.
August 4th, so I have to make the decisions. So
What are you gonna do?
27th that night, I got to start watching films.
So what are you gonna do? You gonna do like 25 a day or something like that?
I got to pound them out. Well, I can sneak some in here and there,
Yeah.
but there's 100.
During the board meeting.
I'm paying
attention.
I got my headset on. What's going on?
Yeah, like the
They,
Bluetooth
they,
earbuds.
they call my name.
The camera starts moving.
They call my name to go through, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
That happened. That was the last one. I was nervous. I went up to the board after, or I went up to them and I said, "So did my name go through? Am I good?" And they're like,
getting the job. Yeah. Oh,
so they said, "What? You didn't hear your name or the number that I called?" I'm like, "I was live streaming. I was busy. Like I was
you're doing
busy with
10,000
this.
things.
Yeah, so I'm like, I didn't pay attention to a word. Like, you can say all you want. I wouldn't be like, I'd be listening but not listening.
Well, too,
know what I mean?
you're listening for any errors, any
Yes.
any mistakes.
And that was our first live stream, so the internet kept kicking us off.
right.
At that time, where they were calling out the names, they're saying the names. I was running back and forth, sweating, doing the audio, doing this. So I'm like, I don't pay attention.
Right. And now, when you do the hockey games, when you're, do you have like cutouts and stuff like that, or
No, it's
you're
like,
pretty good?
Yeah, like literally they start live streaming like 30 minutes before the game, so you can see them like warming up, and we just have it connected straight to the computer, and it actually goes to Hockey Live TV. It's called Fast Hockey.
Okay.
So it automatically just goes straight to that website, so it's not towards the New Jersey Titans website.
Okay.
Do
And
people
so-
commentary?
Well, yeah, like one of the biggest issues one of the biggest problems we had was we decided to put the camera in a new position so that we can see the whole ice better. And because of that, the wire went running through, and so it would always be loose. So the connection would go on and off, and people pay to watch. So we always get, and on top of that, colleges also watch to see the kids to get scholarships on the team. So we would get like comments, and they'd be like screaming on the phone, like, "Hey, fix this now." So like it was a matter of you have to like be very careful with like manualing the camera, and it was just it was like tedious at first, but then I mean it was an awesome experience, but it
Stressful.
was totally it was stressful. It was like very stressful. So
That's what kills me about like live TVs, any of that kind of stuff. So you're just kind of like, if something goes wrong, and people, especially if people are paying for it.
Yeah.
I was good the other night doing it. In 10 minutes towards the end, it just went.
yeah.
And I thought it was the wire. So I'm wire in and out, wouldn't go. I'm like, why? And then
that
like
was
5 minutes later, it just boop, went back on. I'm like, what's going on?
It would like sometimes the camera would like one game it would like turn off when I'd pan it to the left, and then the next day it would like go off when I pan it to the right. It was just it would be on and off, and we just didn't know what it was. We thought maybe it was the HDMI wire.
Right.
We weren't unaware, but like we got through it.
Sometimes I'll be watching a sporting event, and I'm just like, what? Why are they on that camera? Who's directing this? Like, I'm just like go.
Not even the game that's happening, just like all the technical stuff.
exactly.
Now they have
Exactly.
Now they have apparently then they put
Where's
the
the
basketball.
replay?
They put the basketball for the basketball.
Oh,
they
the-
put those
the
in,
robotic
and
cameras
the
or
robotic
whatever.
cameras. They follow the
Yeah.
kids back and forth, so we don't have to ever live stream basketball.
Yeah.
Just the football.
Come
Not
on.
gonna-
Yeah, watch. We'll be like way up in the corner holding the cameras. Who's that guy in the corner up there?
He doesn't even know how to
He's
play
hanging.
basketball.
Why is he? What
When
if
you
that
do
thing
live
breaks?
streams for the games, do you have different angles, or is it just one camera?
For the
Live streams are like
The
the
football?
game. Yeah.
it's just one camera that I have, and I'm used to, and we're on the top of the
Press box.
there, and it's not really a floor. South, there's a floor, and it's bigger.
Okay.
Here, it's like you're in between.
Like a little.
They're like little open areas where things could fall in.
Okay.
So
That's
I had the
Oh,
tripod,
that's rough.
and I put the tripod down.
Oh,
it's
and it
on
went
the
through
metal
one of the holes.
pieces,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And out of nowhere, it just falls down. I'm like, what's going on? So I had to deal with that. But there's also 4 other guys on the roof that only fits 3.
Yeah.
So I'm in the corner like this, and going back and forth like this the whole game, like this tight.
Yeah.
Going, I don't know what to do. I have to do this. And then I would sneak, and then something would happen to the live stream. So I'd go down into the booth, fix that, go back up. And it's really hard to fit there. For some reason, they don't really have a good roof on that there. For like a flat
probably
roof.
need like a piece of wood or something.
A piece of wood.
Yeah.
Piece of wood would work. But like at South, you can just walk around on the top there. It's a lot easier.
Yeah, we had kids doing it one year, and they were like, I guess they had, I don't remember who, but like some kind of TV trucks outside. It was a big game.
So they put the game.
So they had those guys, and they were kicking the kids off, and
Yeah.
it's like, all right, but we're told we have to do this.
Yeah,
So yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. So like, where else could you film if not on top of that?
Go on the field, kids.
Yeah.
You see they're just
We'll put a
booking
helmet on you. You'll get like some
We're
point
gonna-
of
we're
view
gonna-
action
Put
going.
a rope across, and we're gonna swing it
Yeah.
right through, like right there, in
12
center
men
action.
on the field. Yeah.
Little like
Blind
totally
camera.
Mission Impossible, like
Yeah.
you through the whole thing.
Just,
I would
going
do
on
that.
the cart. They're getting pushed from a good angle.
If they got the camera that goes right over with the strings that goes and follows the
Oh.
kids, and you have the remote, I would do that.
Oh man,
They'd be flying
that drives
all
me
different
crazy because I need to
directions.
orient myself where I am.
That's shot from
It's a 180-degree rule, man. All right.
The worst though is when I set the shot, because you have the whole field pretty much up there and get that and just let it go. But then I don't know. Then sometimes you're moving it back and forth, and or like where like something happens and you have it over here, and now it's down
Yeah.
here, and I'm filming nothing.
Right.
So I like to just let that one shot.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if you only have one camera, because if you have two cameras, you can keep one tight, one wide. But I don't know, it's weird. You guys have one camera?
We have one camera.
Okay.
Well, we could fit more up there, but we can't fit more up there.
We also need the people to do it. Then you got to lug the equipment, make sure it's set up right, all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So, because we did one where we actually switched. We had like two of the
switcher?
field cameras, yeah, and it worked well. But it's like the kids were like people said they were going to let them back into the school, and they didn't let them back in. They have like thousands of dollars worth of
Oh,
equipment.
wow.
And so finally, someone's like, "All right, I forget if they dropped it off to me or what, but it was like 11 at night. Like, come on, I'm not on the clock."
I tried to get into the school the other
Yeah.
day.
I tap out.
I forgot my wire for my laptop and plugged in, so I went back to school, and it was 7 p.m. I got there, and I found out that 6:30 that the security guard leaves. So I'm walking around the building, and I see the maintenance guy. I'm like, "Hey,
Yeah.
I need my plug."
Yeah, I think maybe that's what it is. Maintenance let them back in.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and it was like raining too. It's like you can't leave that stuff out.
No, it's
Definitely not.
Or if it's insured, maybe you can.
Dot, dot, dot.
it's
Yeah, exactly.
costs a lot of money. It costs a lot of money to fix that stuff too, because we had two cameras that are having issues. So I went and brought them to get fixed. So I still haven't heard back. So
Yeah, and that's like
I gotta wait for that. But it was a good
gonna be
timing this
cheaper?
time of year.
it's gonna be
It'll
cheaper,
be a lot. I mean, still gonna be expensive to fix,
but cheaper than
but a lot cheaper than buying
Right.
one new one.
right.
So they're good cameras. Even the guy said these are good cameras. You better just
The
fix them.
Rebels,
Yeah.
you think? Okay.
So it's like just mechanical stuff. I guess we had no problems all year. Nothing broke. Nothing happened. And then all of a sudden, it doesn't read the SD cards.
Now, do you guys use being a Film One person? Do you use the Rebels, or you have to use the little Vixias?
Well, I use my own camera.
Oh, okay.
I have a Nikon DR3300. So
Okay.
I just use that. But like, if I'm shooting with my group, sometimes I do use the Canon.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right, but you don't use like the little.
No, I don't know.
But do your intro kids?
It
use
depends.
the
Yeah, most of the intro kids do use that.
Okay.
But if they're doing well and they're trustworthy,
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah,
They can-
So you use
they
the
can
little dinky
upgrade.
ones.
Yeah.
they can upgrade a little bit if
Yeah, I'm going to
Right.
if they're
Yeah.
able to use it
Right. Well, if I'm trying to think, like,
and if they're available.
Yeah.
that's the thing, the availability. It's like
Yeah.
the intro kids have to use the smaller ones because I just don't have enough cameras. But
Well, you shoot during the period, but you can't take it out.
yeah. But then like your film, you wanted to take the equipment out
Yeah.
Yeah.
for 45 days straight or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah,
Yeah,
guilty.
yeah.
Guilty.
Which, 'cause that's what always stresses me out. You have that one kid who doesn't bring back a plate or this or that. I was like,
But I brought it all back.
no, I know.
I did have. There was one student that kept holding on to the camera, and he had it. He's like, "I got it in my car." I'm like, "Go get it."
Oh, I yell
Leave, go get it.
if they bring it in and it's cold. I'll like, say, "You had this in your car, didn't you?" Like, yeah. I'm like, "You're not supposed to have it in your car overnight." What if someone breaks in? I mean,
Yeah.
who knows?
Yeah.
Someone's gonna do that, but it's like,
Yeah.
it's not good for the camera. Extreme heat.
Especially the heat, yeah.
Yeah, the heat.
I mean, I usually put my cameras like on the stovetop. So
Yeah.
keep 'em warm.
Put it on
melt 'em.
high.
Yeah.
Fry it up.
That's what I thought. That same student, I thought he was going to come by
Anybody
today
want
because
stir fry?
he enjoyed podcasting and meeting Ming and all that. So
okay.
I thought he'd come by and check this out.
What is he playing this Friday?
So, none of his films that he did, but he's in one.
Okay.
I don't think he worked on one that made it in.
Is he in the Chase, or is he in the Chase, or which?
No,
which
he's he was in the study hall one. He's
Okay,
the one
study
that
hall.
makes all the reactions. And
Okay.
so he's a very funny guy, and some of his stuff just, again, like almost there, just didn't quite make
Yeah.
it. He had another one that they kept losing. They kept putting it in or saying they put it in and saved it, and it didn't save it, and it would disappear, and they
okay.
would lose their footage.
Right.
Because I would take their card and I'd erase it.
You erased it?
No, I had it. I had it, and I put it on the computer, but they didn't realize it, and they reshot it, and they did
I
it
see.
differently, and so
That's
it didn't come out as well the second time. I'm like, well, wait, you guys can re-edit it because I got your footage.
Right.
You lost it, but I have it, so put it. So it just didn't work out,
Right.
and it was a different actor, and it didn't work out as well as with
Yeah,
him.
there's so many variables.
So.
Yeah.
It's like very
Yeah,
stressful.
like that's one of my things. Like I'm like worried about like uploading my footage directly to the computer because how many people use
Yeah.
it. So I got
Yes.
myself one of those like passports. So I save all my footage in there.
Smart.
So, yeah.
Well, we try to isolate if as best we can. Like you're only working on this computer, and I know like maybe there's 10 kids that work on this, but at least
Yeah.
I can kind of narrow it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of the kids
versus,
pick
like-
their own. Like they
Yeah.
let
they don't
them pick
usually
it?
go to different ones. They kind of know
But
which
you let
one they
them pick
like
it.
to. Which computer? Yeah.
Oh, I yell at them. He's like, you're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 through 20, and
Yeah.
then it's like I guess they double up. Like so, you're working with number 1 is working with number 11.
The
and
funny thing
so
is,
then
everyone
it's
likes
like
to use the computer that you use.
Yeah.
Well, I do too, so I can't.
Why?
Because
Why
it's
is
the
that?
first
I
one.
don't know.
I'm
You
just
walk
like
in the
pinned
room,
in the
it's-
corner of like the
Yeah,
room.
there's
that,
no room
there's
where
just
you
this
are.
awkward catty corner that Corey just decided to put a computer, and I got
It's
stuck
the
on
only
that
place
one.
I have. Get out.
Leave.
There's
Take headphones off.
Just
the funny thing is, I have
the headphones.
She like walks away or just starts
It gets pulled back.
I have a computer on the desk, and I would do that. But sometimes I go in the editing room and I sit
Right.
down at the first computer,
Yeah.
which
Right.
is that one.
Right.
Yeah.
That's got to be it.
Yeah.
It's just like the first one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because like I used to edit in the other room, the room that
far
connects
room
to the
that's-
live stream.
yeah.
Yeah, it has like the sound. It's like pretty much soundproof. I feel.
Yeah,
like.
it's pretty simple.
And and I just stay there because not a lot of people go there, and the lights are like usually like my fellow editors, we call it dark room because we just have a dim light and it adds a dramatic effect to
Right.
editing. So like,
People like to go in there
Yeah.
during 3-4, and that's the room they use because no one bothers you.
Yeah.
You stay open 3-4.
I'm always there. Yeah.
Okay, me
when
too.
I'm there,
Me too.
I'm just.
yeah.
Is there a lot of people that come into class like
Yeah.
3-4?
Yeah. a lot
Yeah,
of
they
people.
do, and then
Yeah,
other
it's like
people
us.
try to come in
Yeah.
that aren't part of it. They like it though.
You know, that's fine as long as you're not a goofball.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fine with me. My thing is lately I'm like trying to eat and like
I'm guilty
like,
of this too.
I'm trying to eat my food.
Yeah, that
Like,
happens.
like the other day,
I don't get to eat.
Corey literally made me stand in front of his desk and be like, "You're gonna be my secretary. Anybody that wants to talk to me, just say nope, he can't." So like, over like 10 kids came up and was like, "Mr. Corey," and I was like, "Just don't do it. Walk away." And they were like, "But Mr. No." Just-
And I'd be shuffling paper, look at them.
he's just shoving his face and just like,
Yeah.
he's like looking at me like, "I hope you're doing your job."
it's our lunch.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because other teachers are like, you should just get away because
Yeah.
I think there's something healthy about getting away and not have. But to me, like the filmmaking is you have to.
You never stop.
You
You're
never
there.
stop, and like you need that. There's times where you just needed to be in front of that computer
because
for
it's not
Yeah.
class
A long
time.
time.
It's time to just decompress and do your editing.
right. And if you start like
Research or
for
anything.
Morgan, I have her block 5, so she'll come in. That's an 80-minute
Yes.
block. She'll come in if she comes at 3, 4. So what? That's like 120 minutes.
Yeah.
It's 2 hours, right? Yeah.
And sometimes I'm even in there longer because I have A days. I somehow got all of my electives in one day. So like,
Only if you have if you're doing well in a class. Miss Castor.
yeah, that's true. So like my choir teacher and like my drama teacher, like really,
If her work's
like-
done.
Yeah, if my work's done, they're very like, yeah, go ahead. So like I could be there from like first block all the way to fifth block, like
Oh, wow.
for an entire day.
And just
That's
edit,
awesome.
edit.
Yeah.
Then she's like, Mr. Corey, why are you crying?
Yeah, basically.
Why are you in the
Can I
fetal
cry
position?
with you?
He goes in like a blanket, tuck himself on the about.
I just watched so and so's film. Oh man.
No, so and my fifth block kids on A Day, they usually come in 3, 4 and
Oh, they
sit
do?
there and edit.
Yeah.
So then I start class in the classroom, and we do certain things, and they're like, oh, do I have to go in there now? I'm like,
Right.
yes, you do. I'm like, give me 10, 15 minutes, and
Right.
you can go back to work.
That's a good thing though. I mean, it stinks because they have to leave.
Yeah.
You know, but I think it shows you their commitment to it, and that's what you ultimately want. You know, you want like I have advanced kids who will come and we just fight, and as
That
annoyed
happens,
as I
yes,
might
yes.
be, I do like that they're trying to leave the nest to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're, you know, which is to be expected.
Yeah.
Sometimes though, there's some kids though they think they know more than me. It's like, no, you don't know more.
We
It's
know
like,
they
try
don't.
again.
So, and that's not to sound arrogant. It's like,
Yeah.
but dude, I've been doing this for 20-some
It's
years.
20-something years. They know
Yeah.
what I'm doing.
I'm from the 20th century. I mean, yeah.
I'm like Action Park Survivor.
We're making movies since the 90s.
Yeah,
So
exactly. No, 86.
86.
First film,
Get
The
your
French
patch
Underground,
straight.
produced.
86. What were you, like 8?
I was a little older than that. I think it was 12.
I
don't
was
know.
8.5.
Yeah. No, I made my first. I wanted to get out of an English assignment. We had to write a paper, so I said,
Well,
"Can I
guess
make
if
a
you
movie?"
count- I guess if you count
A
that, yeah.
20-minute movie about the French Underground. It was terrible, edited in camera. It wasn't terrible, but it was like, you know, you get the bug, man. It's like,
In freshman year in high school, I did Jason Takes Middletown.
that's
Oh, no.
awesome.
Right out, we were allowed to go outside then to film,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
we went
yeah.
outside in the woods.
No
That's south,
way.
right?
It's south.
Okay.
Love.
And and I was Jason, and there was a scene where my friend hits me over the head with a bucket, and I fall to the ground,
Mm-hmm.
and it hurt because he really did it. So they were watching it, and they're like, "Wow, that's so real." The teacher was like, "That you did a great job faking it." I'm like, "He didn't fake it.
Right.
I was out cold."
I winded up like totally stunting stuff in my movie. So like I tripped at one point,
Right.
and the first time that we filmed it, there was a cinder block in the way, and I wasn't. I wasn't aware because it was covered. Like there was like vines and everything all over it. So I'm running and we're like going through everything, and just boom hits my ankle. Like I totally screwed it up. But I was like, no, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going. We have like 6.5 hours to finish filming this. Like we gotta keep
And you
going.
have no ankle left.
I literally don't.
Just
Just
limps
the
away.
mark's still there.
I can see it. Oh my goodness.
My little short.
Corey liked to, when I was editing it, take that section, just keep looping it.
Yeah.
Looping it. We like slowed it down. We had
No, that was
we
when
had
you
my-
scream.
Oh, by
You
scream,
scream,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh my
I have on video, kid knocked into a light, and the light just went. It went like it salvaged.
Oh, okay.
We caught it.
Right.
Well, it hit the ground, and I was like, we had other lights, and I came in the room. I was like, "What are you doing?"
Is that the light you borrowed from me?
So it was a big light, so it had protection. But all of a sudden, I walk in, and we had the camera rolling, and the light just went and hit the ground, and then everyone looked at my face, and I was like,
Right.
so we had it on camera, and I know one kid was embarrassed that he tripped over the wire.
Right.
So he went to the bathroom, comes back. Everyone's in the room, and I'm like, I got some video to show you guys. This is what not to do. And it shows we have the video of the light falling and the
Right.
kid tripping on the wire as he came back into the room.
Was he upset?
Yeah, a little bit. He was fine. I was
He
like,
was fine with it.
Called it out.
I said, you know what?
What
All
if
it did
that
was
called him out?
all that happened was the light went out. Here's another light, and I put the new light in. It was
Right.
fine.
Oh, that's
But I was like, you got to be careful on those things. You got to look where you're going.
right.
Oh, yeah, my class, when it comes to like equipment, oh no.
Well, they
You
haven't
sound like
breaking
the
anything
fire-
except the
breaking
light.
anything. Yeah.
The light,
But,
but
like,
it didn't break at
Very
least.
hesitant.
Yeah,
But I mean, you're used. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, something like that. To be fair, if you're on a real set, you'd have like a carpet or something over
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
cable.
yeah,
whatever.
we didn't have that.
You know, you'd have it weighted down with sandbags. But and the fact that it's being used, that's a good thing. So
But yeah, it's a very interesting class. That class is in.
It's a
5B.
When you have 28 different personalities in a class and they're all different,
Oh, and the seniors, they take the cake. Like,
Yeah, the seniors, they're kind of done.
They checked
They're-
out probably.
They're checked out.
Yeah.
There's about a handful of them. They're checked out. They're like, we're done. That's it.
It's like, I'll take this 0. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the. But
I don't get that. That doesn't make any sense to me when they take zeros.
at least be upfront
yeah, I
about it.
wouldn't. Like, I put 100%, like,
Yeah.
110, no matter what it is. Like, I could be
Yeah.
walking my dog, and I'm going to be like, this is
We're
going to be
gonna
the
go
best
for-
walk that you're ever going to get.
They're like, no, I'm good. I'm like, you're not getting any credit. I said, I'm good. I got enough. Okay. That happens sometimes, but we have a lot of kids and more kids next year.
Right.
So I'm working with 3 classes. How many do you have? 6?
Now?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, 6 groups of kids. So I think 130 kids, something like that. But
That's a lot.
and then you have those advisory kids, but they don't count. So
Yeah, I don't have advisory.
not that they don't count. They just.
I'll probably have an advisory next year, though.
They're probably watching
Right.
right now, and they're being like,
They're like,
Corey.
Well, they get
Like-
they always get mad at me that I don't know their names, but there's no interaction. It's
Yeah,
just like,
you're there and
I
they
don't
sit
know.
there. Yeah.
So I mean, like I know them now, but it takes me much longer.
That took me a long time to remember everyone's name too.
Yeah. And
Just
that-
a regular classroom.
and it times that
There's
by
a lot of kids.
however many years,
Yeah.
of doing this. So,
Yeah.
but
a lot of names.
all right. So, do we have any expectations for? Should we guess? Should we do an over under? How many people showing up on Friday?
I don't know. I'm hoping that a lot of people come with this and promotions and
Yeah.
tweets and hopefully word of mouth from everybody.
Yeah.
I think that a good group of her class might show up and bring people. I believe.
You should
Well, there's
show
not
up-
that many. Most of the films are in Block 5,
Okay.
and Block 1 didn't get any.
Is that your advanced class?
Block 5 is.
Oh, Block 5 is.
Yeah.
But you're in Block 5.
No, Block
I'm
6.
Block 6.
So
Oh,
she's
okay, gotcha.
1.
I'm
So
in
we got
one,
about. We got 2 of yours, and the 2 of another group. So that's 4.
Yeah.
4 shorts, I
Yep.
believe, from your class that made it. Oh no, 5.
Right.
Joanna,
Yeah, because of her. Wait, was it the one with her mom?
the older one, yeah, because
Yeah,
that
yeah.
came out. It came out okay, pretty good. And then she just did one the other day with her uncle, who's a writer. But
Yeah.
there was a lot of
Oh,
wind.
yeah.
We were trying to get the
Yeah.
wind out of it and knock it out,
Right.
but it just.
It was.
Were they monitoring the sound when they were shooting?
Guess not. No.
Guess
I mean,
not.
like it's her first time working with because she was using her own camera.
Yeah,
too.
she did it by herself
okay.
outside. But
Yeah.
we were working with the wind, and we did fix some of it.
Mm-hmm.
But there were just a couple scenes, and if you cut it, it goes over his talking about the
Yeah.
books and all that. So and all of a sudden you just hear.
Yeah.
Right,
It
exactly.
was like, what did he say again? Say that one more time.
Well, I got a dead cat coming next year, so that might help a little bit.
That was one of the.
Oh,
other issues,
like
Everyone's like, a dead cat? What is that?
a rye
Yeah.
coat softie, I believe it's
If,
called.
Why
if
did
you
you-
go to the store and you go to like B&H or you go to Best Buy, you look and it will say dead cat.
Or rye coat softie. Or
like you're a
parabolic
dog
anodized
person.
reflector. No, wait, that's lights. Morgan wants
Oh
to
my
get more
God.
into lighting, so
Yeah, lighting.
I gave her this very technical book, and she's like, "Yeah, I tried reading this." And I'm
It's
like,
hard.
"Just a little-
Lighting
a
books are
little
not.
bit
You just
here."
got to do it by experience with lighting. That's really how you
I
do
mean,
that.
it's
we
just-
did the green screen. We like completely
yeah.
just like reconfigured
Oh, you did green
the
screen
entire
with the white.
thing.
Right. Oh, we're talking about
can
like
see.
she actually helped out with lighting. So we actually took down a bunch of the lights off the grid,
Yeah.
which were like rusted in place.
Oh, yeah.
and like
Yeah.
replaced a bunch. Like a lot of the bulbs were out. Like
Well,
that
see,
was-
when I had them working, there was about 12 working. The rest weren't.
Oh,
so-
really? And how many do you think are in there? Like
And they did
24?
fade. They did go on and off, and then out of nowhere one
Just
day it
stopped,
just
yeah.
stopped.
Yeah.
And then I had guys come in and they're like, "Yep, it's not connected right."
Did
I'm
you
like,
cut one of the wires?
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe.
How
I
can
don't
it
know.
not be connected
It's
right? We were just
sabotage.
using it, right? We were just using it. How does it not get connected?
That's
right?
weird.
So
Did they
I-
ever figure out what it is? No.
we're not sure if part of the board is fried,
If it's
or
a fuse blew. Or
but
something?
what these guys were saying was there's no connection from the room now into the board.
Okay.
Yeah.
For something's not connecting, and it was connecting, but all of a sudden out of nowhere, not connecting.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but
Your favorite little.
Is there-
No, I like before I heard
Anyway,
the siren.
Is there anything else you guys want to add in? Please come on Friday.
Yes.
Yeah, basically.
We'll get a good crowd, get some awards, have a good time.
Yeah. I
Hopefully-
try to spread the word as much as
definitely.
possible.
I have at least like 10 people. Like,
That's good.
Okay.
Like coming, definitely. Like basically my whole entire family's
Definitely?
coming.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right,
My
good.
mom over
Definitely.
there. She's
Well,
definitely coming.
my whole family is we're going to come, and they're all going away.
Oh, okay.
I am the lone wolf in my entire
Family.
mother's side of the family are all going away, but me. And then we're Irish, so we're a really big family. So there's a lot of them not coming.
Right. Yeah.
Even my own brother.
I have a
Well-
huge family, so like it's gonna I think you're gonna get like 30 people just from
All right,
my
cool.
side.
Uh-huh.
They're like, oh, you have a film in there? Yeah,
Yes,
it's
he
not a
has
big
two
deal.
films. So
Okay,
you
we're
have two
gonna go.
films. So
Yeah.
there you go. There's not too many people
two
at
films, and you're playing because I know what your films are. You're playing in the first reel and the second reel, so that's cool.
Yeah, so that's good. And then I think Julia has two films other
Yeah.
than that. And then
Mm-hmm.
there's maybe two other groups that have two films. And that's pretty much it because most of them are Black 5 and they have a
Right.
commercial and then another film,
Right.
something like that. So we got a good number. You got a good number. Films.
Yeah, it's funny because some of the kids are like, what was it like? I want to put my film in. I'm like, all right, well, we gotta can't like. It's
Well, we
gotta
had a
be
bunch
certain
of docs
time,
that are not
you know?
really, that are not 100% done yet or
Right.
just finished. So it's just no time. But maybe I
Right.
could get it in this summer to the
Yeah.
indie street and more after that. We just unfortunately.
Well, you always want to
couldn't
show
make
your
the
best
deadline.
work, so
Yeah.
you know. It's like Kai apparently has a 10-minute film. This kid Kai.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
wanted
I'm
to
like,
watch it. Like out of
Could
all the
you-
advisory
I'm
time.
like, get it. I haven't even seen it. Just get it down to 6 minutes. It can't happen. I'm like,
I
bet
told
you-
kids
bet
to
you
make
can.
shorter films. Try to make shorter films. Maybe don't go over 5. Stay around 3.
It's easier to get into a festival if
But
you have a shorter
when we
film.
first started it earlier, we did a lot of 1 minutes. That's why I have a few 1 minutes there.
Right.
I'm like short to the point, like you did Run, in like not even a minute.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
30
Just a
seconds.
good idea.
Run is
got
great.
everything.
I would like to see like a polished version of
Yeah,
it. What
yeah.
do you, and I don't know if you're like you
Like-
should shut up.
No,
it's my film, but
it's okay.
it's such a
We
good
did it pretty
idea.
fast.
It was
Right.
the story behind it was there was an assignment like we had to get this
The
done.
1 minute, right? The 1 minute in like
Yeah.
a week or
Yeah.
two, week
and
or two.
So
two?
we were like we
You
had
turn
a
around.
complete different idea, but
Okay.
like the deadline was like close, and me and my friend were like, all right,
Mm-hmm.
we gotta get something done. So another friend of like stayed after school, and we're like, all right, what can we do? And then we were like talking about like college and stuff, and that's when I was like, student loans. We had someone run away from someone. So we like,
Like a
I
horror?
asked you for like a pen, and we just like wrote on a blank piece of paper we just found on top of like one of the tables in the TV production room. Started writing student loans, and we just had her run for like
That's
10
right. You were,
minutes.
yeah, that's right.
10 minutes doing all sorts of shots, and then to edit it was like real quick, and then
Right.
that was it.
Well, the point
So,
was to
like,
get
yeah.
it done quick, a quick
Okay.
assignment to
Okay.
Yeah.
do all the stuff, go
But-
through all the things
Right.
real quick.
Yeah.
But sometimes when you do it, like it's such a cool idea. I'd
Yeah.
like to see like a polished
Yeah,
version of it.
it was
You know?
it was
like
funny
you might want to
'cause
revisit.
we were like looking back at it, and like we had her running like a lot. So when we were looking at the film, we were like laughing because she looked more exhausted than she was scared. So we were like, oh no. We're like, I hope Colin doesn't
It
mind.
still kind of it still
Yeah.
works. I mean,
Yeah,
she doesn't
yeah,
look.
yeah.
It doesn't look
And
like.
I just like the sign that pops up.
Yeah, we like had like the signs slowly like shift over to the side, and I was
Right.
like, oh, let's hope that they can see that it says student loans. So yeah, it was.
So I liked a lot of those films because they were done quick and
Yeah.
they had a point. And I said you can't go over a minute. You have to do it in a minute's time, and it seemed to work. So
Well, last year, the old TV production teacher, he literally just said, all right, here's the camera equipment, make a film. And, like, the films would be, like, more than 11 minutes. Like,
They
it'd
were
be
long.
Yeah, you get. Well, I think that's where you kind of need.
So-
You need parameters. You need to
Yeah.
say like
Yeah.
I say to you guys, I want it between 2 and 4 minutes. Now
Yeah.
I'm
I
not
don't think
gonna.
I've ever
well, being-
gone over like 5. I think my longest.
Right, I'm not gonna kill you on it, but I'm
Yeah.
gonna want you to.
well,
get it
well,
down.
and the docs are different because sometimes you got to. So that's
Right,
a little
right,
different. But like a
absolutely.
film, like a film with the story that you create and all that.
Yeah.
Being
You
a
can
film
work around
fest
it.
person and going to watch student films all day, every day at all these festivals,
Right.
3 minutes are good.
Yeah, 3 minutes is great, and that's hard to do.
It's hard to
It's
do.
harder to make like a 3 minute.
Because you edit it down to so that's like my goal next year is to make no longer than 3 minutes.
Right.
So if you go over like 302, 303, that's fine. But
Right.
really, a lot of the really good ones are 2.5 to 3 minutes.
Right.
Because you get straight to the point.
Yeah.
You have because like there's something that like I was learning just like in creative writing where it's like you start losing like teachers like
Mhm.
usually start losing their kids' attention like once 15 minutes pass by.
Yeah.
That's the same thing with a film. Like you're not going straight to the point. People are like, oh, what's the point of me watching this? So,
Yeah,
like,
there's some kind of
to
formula for it. It's like, I think
Yeah.
it's like say something for 10 to 15 minutes, then you like if you're teaching, then you review, and then you have to switch it into like 3 different levels
Right, yeah.
in order to retain the information. Otherwise, you just
Yeah.
kind of zone out.
Like, because then you just like go brain dead. You just go on like autopilot mode, and you're like, okay.
That's what I love about
Yeah.
my intro classes. They hate me because I make them watch like right off the bat, like Citizen Kane, and like
Yeah, a lot of
Third
them can't
Man.
sit through
They're
that.
like,
That's true.
"Ugh,"
I show
like,
I show kids.
I love it though. Like
It's-
I'll sit
a lot of
it's
there.
a
kids don't
textbook.
like
You
that
have
stuff.
to know this.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. You have to know.
You have to know it.
Even if you
Citizen
hate
Kane
it,
was
that's
more,
fine.
Like, quiet,
Yeah.
You
so,
know,
like there's
but-
not so much action going on. So a lot of kids, I don't think. from
That was
our
the
class-
beginning of the whole like
Yeah.
first like
Yeah.
part of the first quarter was all learning all this stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was a lot. That was
It's
a lot. I
you-
thought a lot of kids were like, ugh.
There's
Yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
teaching, and then at some point you facilitate.
Yeah.
You
A
know?
lot of kids were also under, because like the teacher last year, like I said, he just gave you the stuff and like go for it. So a lot of kids were under the impression that that's how it's going to be this year.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, what's happening? like,
Right.
Like
so,
we have
but-
to learn this stuff.
Yeah.
Well, but I mean that's
Yeah.
the thing. It's tough coming in,
Right.
and I did it twice. When I was at a school, Warren Hills, out in
Yeah, new
Warren
teacher
County.
coming in. Yeah.
I was the new guy coming in, and it was like this. They were like, "You suck," and
Yeah.
they didn't want to hear anything.
Yeah.
But you have to get
You have to bring them in and
you have to
learn
get them to
do
buy.
it your
They have
way.
to buy into your program.
Yes.
I
And
feel
the same
that
thing
it was
happened at
better
South.
that way because like you can't just go straight into something without at least having some background
No.
knowledge.
Yeah.
But
So,
see
like-
now,
Yeah.
Even advanced class had this almost the same.
They had to
so now
restart, yeah.
next year in advance we can go right into this stuff because
Right.
now they know it.
Yeah.
Right.
So they didn't at first, and they were saying, "Oh, we
Right.
didn't know this. We didn't know this. Now we do. Okay, now we get it."
Right.
So next year, advanced class, you get, go right into, we're going to do this project, and this is coming up, and this because you know it. But then you go to my TV film 1 class, and it's all right. This is a shot. This is the camera. This is the setup. This is what you got to do. Here's all the shots. Here's the
But
film.
that's
all
the
this-
thing. If you do it like we do it, it's like you talk about it like it's like a language. You know,
It
it's
isn't like-
talk about
Like I said, dead cat. When you're on set and you learn the actual language in a book and all that,
Yeah.
but say
Yeah,
C
that is
47.
just a
Why don't you say
clothespin.
clothespins? No,
It's a
C47s
clothespin.
or like what's your 20?
Yeah.
And like you understand what that means
Get
on
your
set
guns out.
because that's what you're going to hear.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a PA on set first time, they go, "What's your 20?" And I'm like,
I don't know.
I got a 20 in my pocket. I mean, what's going on? So they're like,
I
that's-
think that's to mess with the PAs too.
I know that too. So there is like
No, I guarantee first time that I come in, I'm just gonna have like clothespins on the side
You
of
need
me,
s-
and I'm just gonna be
You
like,
should just have a
"You need
jacket
C47."
made out of clothespin.
when I came on the set when it was back in the day in '97 on Vulgar, I got a packet that said PA stuff, and I ran through the packet, all the language and everything.
Oh, really? So they
Yes.
weren't trying to. Okay.
So I learned.
When I was on set, they would try to like see what you knew and what you didn't know.
Well, I worked in
That's
the
what-
office mostly, so I had to know all like
Okay.
that kind of stuff going on because I did a lot of the stuff on that set. It was a great learning experience, and that's the reason why I went into this stuff.
Yeah.
I was in radio, and then I worked on that film, and I'm like, forget radio.
Right. Yeah. It's
Movies.
It's addictive. It's
Very addictive.
There's one thing I wanted to get in. It's like one
Yes.
of the things that I would like to see because we're both like film guys. Right?
Yes.
I want to see like film in schools throughout New Jersey. Like I'd
Yeah.
love to see like a film, like you talk about education and film at least in high school level. Like you think of New Jersey,
Yes.
you know, which
I,
hopefully
the kids should know, and I teach them that it's the original Hollywood is here.
right, yeah,
Edison Studios, 1903, Great Train Robbery, 12-minute long film. Of course, everyone you should know
That was
Edwin
on
S.
the
Porter.
we were
See?
we were at the Thomas Edison.
See, that's what I want to do. I want to go on that trip.
Yeah, historic site over
So
the
did
weekend.
you go this year? Oh, the weekend.
Well, we
oh,
had
you
New,
were there.
New Jersey Young Filmmakers.
Yeah.
That
I
they
think that'd be a
sponsored-
good trip,
yeah.
but maybe like a half day because I don't know if the kids would be interested on a full day of doing that kind of
Oh
thing.
no, they definitely would. Like anything to get out of school.
Yeah, they wanna get out of
school.
They're gonna
But would it
do
be
Like,
interesting to do that in a full day
Right.
Yeah.
or a half day? Well, I told Ming we got to have a class trip here.
Yeah.
We go to
Middletown.
like a studio, either Monmouth or Brookdale, and
Yeah.
then come here and check out the studio.
Yeah.
Maybe rotate kids on air or something, and then go back, and it's a half day, like a half day trip. Like do that in the morning.
Take a
How
long lunch.
Yeah. So and then go to Red Bank for lunch, and then
Yeah,
go home. Right
there
there
you
you go. That'd be a good trip.
Yeah.
Because that's one thing we didn't get this year is a trip, and I kept trying to think of ways and things
Right.
what to do, and it just didn't happen.
Right.
But I'd like to do something next year.
Well, I know this year we had the snowstorm, but through the Garden State Film Festival, the Leica Studios came out.
Yeah.
They did Coraline and help me out here, Paranorman, and what's the other?
Frank.
Yeah, I can't remember.
They didn't do
the other
Frank
one.
and Weenie.
That
They
wasn't
did
them.
Kubo.
So
Something like
well,
that.
where they came where?
They came to Asbury Park, and we were going to take a trip there, but
Yeah.
it snowed.
Yeah.
And it was like I ended up catching the presentation over the weekend, but the kids couldn't go, and it was just amazing.
We did the Ed Burns thing. Ed Burns.
The Burns,
Not
Film
Eddie
Center?
Burns. No, the Burns. You went
Oh,
to
Ken Burns.
Ken
Ken
Burns.
Burns.
Get my Burns mixed up. I'm a fan of Ed Burns.
No, we
Ken
did the
Burns.
George Burns.
George Burns.
Yeah, the George. Ken Burns came to Brookdale. We saw him. So
Yeah.
and we're doing.
We were a little late on that. I mean, I just started, so
Well, yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, you're gonna throw some slack. I mean, like you just got into
I
the
just
whole-
started the other day. Let's go on a trip tomorrow.
Well, like I said before, I mean, you already have I think you had a very successful first year.
Yeah.
And it's like to have as many films as you've had and students like showing up at these film festivals and building their confidence and all that kind of stuff.
So
I think
far,
that's
so good.
amazing.
Yeah, I think that's a really important part because I kind of came into Corey's class really not like I was in a shell. I couldn't get out of it, and then by now last film I'm good. I
Right,
broke out.
So I just yelled at her every day.
Yeah.
And that helps.
I don't
It
yell.
just
Well, I yell at some people.
slowly just pulled my soul out, and it was just here I am.
There you go. So, but yeah, I'm trying to think. Do I have anything else in here?
Some people, but we do have interesting kids in our class.
Oh yeah. Oh, and then Sophie's gone now.
Yeah, so there was one student that everyone was like, "Oh, Sophie." They put him in every one of their films. They just love this kid, and now he left the school. He's going somewhere else. So everyone was upset about that.
Bullying.
He did the bully movie.
Okay,
So they're all like, "Sophie's got to come."
Yeah.
Right.
Everyone likes Sophie. He's in every. He was
Is
in.
coming out. You know.
I don't know. I could send him a message, but I don't think he's gonna be allowed to come out.
Yeah.
So are you
I
are you,
don't think so.
are you students going to listen to this podcast?
Yeah, we're gonna put the podcast on. So tomorrow I can let it run or put it on. I put it on Twitter that so people can listen to it. So they click onto it.
All right. So tell them filmmakers are free.
Yes, all filmmakers are free. So
All student filmmakers. Right?
student filmmakers are free. So student filmmakers are free, of course, and then so be there at 6:30.
Yeah.
A little bit before, as we're starting at 6:30. Come in, get some snacks, sit down,
Yeah.
talk to filmmakers. I'm going to try to bring some filmmakers there.
We talk to each
Talk
other.
to each other, yeah.
Like this is a cool thing
Yeah.
today. I mean,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
guys
yeah.
seem like you have a little rapport
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
And it's
So-
here's the thing: you live in Middletown.
Yeah.
It's not that
Different.
far.
Yeah,
Like,
far,
you
yeah.
Yeah,
guys
I'm actually excited because some of my friends from North,
Right.
Yeah.
they're gonna be coming.
Yeah,
and
there's
then,
a lot of.
Are they-
teammates that
are
haven't
they
seen,
films?
They go to South. So.
No.
They're just because they were just hey.
Well, we're recruiting. We're trying to grow the program, so we need more
Right.
people. Today I walked around with the camera. I went to school today, even though I wasn't there. I was there, so I walked around, and some random junior girls like, "Hey, let me," because no one wanted to talk on camera. The seniors didn't want to say anything, and if the ones that did, it was a little off color. So, so this junior girl who had a good personality is like, "I'll do it." She walked around, and goes, "What do you think about your graduation?" Or how you said she went around and asked as she was eating ice cream because there was an ice cream truck. So she's eating ice cream and interviewing these. So I'm like, should I cut her out and just put
Wait,
the
was she
microphone?
blonde?
Yeah.
I think I know who she is. She has a YouTube channel, and she did those
Oh.
like interviews at school. Like she would walk up to you and
So
ask.
why
you
why
questions.
isn't she in your class?
That's what they were asking her. Why don't you take your class? And she's like, I don't know.
Yeah,
So
she
that's
has
why
a
she,
YouTube channel. She's really fun.
All right, so
She's
get,
funny.
so get her to do your news.
she's sitting there eating. She has ice cream in the thing. She's
Yeah.
eating it as she's going. So how do you and it's all on
yeah.
camera. And I'm like, I
She's
can't put you
natural
on
like
camera
that.
like that.
kinda
So
funny.
there's a
That's
bunch of
great,
shots of
though.
her arm go like this. I have shots of her out of it because she's chewing. And then she's interviewing a teacher as she's looking this way, talking to somebody else.
So are you part of the TV club as well or no?
I haven't. Been
She's
able
got a
to
million
join,
things.
But yeah, because I'm all sorts of other clubs. But I'm hoping that by next year I will be able to join. So
Yeah, because I think you
Yeah.
got to get like this year.
That's got to grow, yeah.
We have Olivia anchoring, and she's lights out. She's great. Like she's just a natural, right?
Yeah, we
The fun-
kept changing it around. We kept not
you
knowing,
gotta
and then you
find-
get someone
we
that
did that
wants to
too.
do it, and then
But
it's-
she shows up. She does it. The funny thing is though, she's in all the plays.
Yeah.
So in the B-roll, be her acting in some. It's like
Yeah.
it's like the Olivia show or something like that.
Well, the one we just did, we had Alex doing the she was doing the thing, and we had her in a clip interviewing another
Right,
student. So
yeah.
it was like her going, now we're going to this, and then it's her talking to the student.
That's funny.
But we put
Doppelganger.
a little thing in between, so it would be a little different. But the latest news turned out really well. So go on there to our YouTube channel and check it out. It actually she produced it this time. So Alex actually produced the news and put it together. Well, I, of course, helped, but it came out really good.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, we have one out, and
took a while.
I don't think. Yeah, it takes so long.
So it's not like I know everyone wants it quicker and faster, but
it's got to be.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah. It's tough, and they get all the stories out there and edit it, and put it together, and the voiceovers, and so it's a lot of work.
I hate when you shoot it, and then there's all these things that pop up that you're about to shoot, and I can't go out.
You can't get it,
Yeah.
So there's some you have to cut too. All that I was filming when I was filming the woman from the Film Academy, New York, NY. So I was filming it. I ran in there, had another camera, a different camera, but I just had it on me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm filming it. It looked fine, just getting some shots. I go back, and it was some weird stuff on the camera. It was like weird. The shots were. I thought they were normal. It looked normal, but it was very weird and shaky. And but as I was looking through the viewfinder, it was fine. So I didn't know what happened, but I couldn't use the footage.
Totally ran through that with the film that we just did, Contingency. That's going to be in the festival. We had one part where, let's just say, I was dragged into the ocean. And the first time that it happened,
and it was cold.
It was freezing. There was sand on the lens the first time, so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna saddle up.
Mr. Corey wouldn't like to see that.
It did. There was a little bit. We got it off. We got it off, but then the next time it was super shaky, and then I was like, you know what? One last time, you could drag me into the ocean, and then that's it. And that was a money shot.
I regret, last time I brought a camera to the beach, and I almost got sand on the lens.
Yeah.
I was doing a photo shoot because I took photography class last year, and there was just this amazing shot underneath the pier. Which beach exactly did you go to?
We went to Sandy Hook.
Okay, so I went to the Bayshore Beach, and there's the pier, the fishing pier.
Mm-hmm.
So right underneath the
Port
light.
Monmouth one.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So the light was coming in just perfectly. So I had my friend; she was like a model, and we went ahead and we tucked it real close to the water. And right before I took the picture, a wave just went and just got her. And everyone screamed.
So was this the photo, not video? It would have been a fun video.
But it was insane.
Wait, in the bay?
Yeah.
A wave in the bay.
Like that big?
No, not the bay. It's the beach part. So it was not a huge wave, but it still.
But it was
Yeah, because usually the waves are like this.
It just knocked her down, and everyone I had to quickly back up because I was so worried my camera was gonna break. So it was insane because out of all the photos, that was the best one I took. And the photo looked so peaceful, but little did I know, not even a second later, the wave just.
Isn't that the story of some of the greatest photographs?
Yeah.
Or the most impactful? Even one guy, there was the guy killing the guy in Vietnam. It's right before the guy dies.
We were just talking about that in history.
In history class, right? Or there was even, I think, when
the Buddhist monk burning himself.
Right,
that was
yeah.
Boom,
or when Greedo shot first.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Solo. No, what was the other one? It was Oswald.
Just shaking.
Oswald, the guy just so happened.
Just
when Oswald got shot. It was
the photo.
The
right
guy
before.
it was crazy.
Yeah. So.
Sorry, that took a morbid turn.
just a bit, but
I tell kids all the time, whatever you do, don't shoot at the beach.
Yeah, don't shoot at the beach.
Because it's just so windy, no matter what, you're going to have the wind factor and the waves crashing. And then if you try to do audio, forget it. So if you do a montage with music if you film at the beach. Do not do audio at the beach.
We actually had,
no
some
audio.
good
You'll have to
audio,
do
though.
ADR.
I mean, even though I had to put a filter on it just so that it wasn't super out there, it actually came through pretty clear. So we wanted
sometimes, but it's very rare.
It's like the ocean.
So you snuck that past me. I don't allow them to use sound.
Watched it
well, you filmed outside with the wind,
seven.
but you filmed it around the wind. You didn't hear in her interview. You don't hear the wind like you did in this other one.
The biggest issue with the interview was I was using 2 different camera angles and 2 different mics, and my main camera angle, what ended up happening was the audio just went out, you could not hear it. So I would spend a good chunk of my time just having to put all these different filters on the audio just to increase, because like you would have to put it on like full blast and you still couldn't hear it.
Wow.
So it was we don't know what happened.
It was
And
probably just so low that it didn't
yeah.
pick up the other stuff.
Yeah, it just didn't pick it up, and so my majority of the time was just connecting the audio and camera angles and trying to fix the audio of my main camera. It was just insane. So.
Yeah, that's
things like that is why I don't like camera audio. Anyway, I like to the separate things, so that's what I ordered for next
You can ask him
year.
how frustrated I was with like the camera. I kept like in class, I was just adding all different, because like if I tried increasing, all of a sudden you'd hear too much static. So then I put the adaptive noise reduction, and then it sounded like he's like muffled. So I was like,
That's the problem with this editor. If you put adaptive noise reduction, in the other one, it's denoiser, and it works fine, denoiser. But this adaptive noise reduction echoes. Echoes.
Okay.
So like
Yeah,
it
I actually use that one.
So it echoes
in my
your
film.
voice.
So-
And it shouldn't. It's not supposed to. If you use denoiser in the old one, it won't do that.
like in the interview, it's not too noticeable because like the music's like kind of canceling out.
But it's there.
Yeah, but like it's
And you know.
it's noticeable.
Like someone else might not know it,
Yeah.
but you'll be like,
Like that was like.
But if you
my
hire it, it's
frustration,
going to
yeah.
be echoey and echoey, and it keeps going. And it's
Right.
not. It shouldn't. There's a way. I think you have to look it up and say how to stop the echo
Yeah.
in adaptive noise.
It was just
Right.
playing around with like all sorts of filters. Like I think
Yeah.
that was like the only way I could fix it. It was
Like
just,
I think I sat in
Yeah.
class, went through every single
Yup.
one of them to
Yup.
just like
Yup.
see, okay,
Yup.
does this make it better? Does this make it worse? Like, is this gonna happen?
and then you had to like take notes. Like you'd be like, X,
yeah,
check,
like
okay,
this
X,
worked
yeah.
out. Okay,
Yeah.
let's move on.
Like for just one tiny, it was like 5 seconds worth of an audio clip, and it took me like 15 minutes just to like finish editing it. It was
Yeah.
insane.
Right.
So yeah.
I think next year, especially with the TV film one, you know, as many times as I say it, like this is how you render, and this is how you make it into an MP4. I say it a million times. I show him a million times. And the other day, and Mr. Cullen, how do you render again? Like, go where it says render and
that
hit render.
sounds too familiar.
yeah.
Rendering I know how to do, but I'm
Yeah.
guilty about the MP4.
The MP4. A lot of people don't know that.
But,
Yeah.
you know.
I'm like, I learned it too. I didn't know it either, how to do it on that particular one.
Right.
So, you know, you go down and then, you go to the export, and then you go to the media, and then you look and see which way you want to do it.
Right.
I show it all the time. Like, I should just put it on the screen in the classroom and be like, this is how you do it.
Yeah, I need to have. We should really make more tutorials that they can just kind of access.
Yeah.
Because I forget. It's like the girls who make Kebabbed. They're making another movie now.
yeah.
They're like losing their footage, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what are you not
Yeah.
doing? Did you set your scratch discs? Did you put them in the folder? You reference the folder?
Well, that's what
And-
a lot of people do is they have it on their SD card, and then they don't save it on the computer, and they
Right.
pull it in, and then when they pull the SD card out and leave,
You
and
lose
then they
it.
come back the next day, and they're like, oh, where's my footage? Why? I saved it. No, you didn't
didn't.
save it to the computer. You just
I
put
mean,
it into the system
You
from
can
the SD
relink
card.
it, but it's a pain.
And it will say, yeah, so
So
that's a lot of issues. So yeah, it'd be funny if we like over the summer we just made all these tutorials together and
But
just
like
showed it to the class.
instead of it being like really proper, like okay, so this is how you do this. It's just you guys like being goofballs, be like, okay,
Like
this is
what
how
if
you do
just
this. So,
walk
like,
into class on the first day, he's not even in there. There's just a projector playing.
it just like starts
It's just-
and everyone's like, what's going
The
on?
lights are off. People walk in, and I pop up on the screen going, "Hello and welcome to the classroom."
There's just confetti cannons that just go, and it's just like, welcome to TV1.
Max Headroom. The TV comes out at you,
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
and then we're in the back. You're like the wizard. We're in the back room talking into the
Behind the curtain.
behind a curtain, talking to one of
They cannot
these.
see us.
Who was that over there in the red shirt?
And if you want to scare kids off, just do it in German or some other like, it's like it's subtitled. That's the funny thing. Like some kids, I think they just sign up for the class and they're just like, we're gonna run around with a camera or whatever kind of thing, and then
That was like
others.
majority.
Yeah.
Kids in class.
Yeah.
It changes, but it's true. It's true. Especially that's what they thought, and then they're like, "Oh, we have a test. Oh, we have notes. We have a test. We have
work.
stuff. We have to work. Like we get graded. Oh, we have an assignment."
Do you guys have notes?
There, I send them to them. They don't have to
Yeah.
write it. I
Oh.
send them.
Oh.
It's just
You make
the-
them write it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's almost about every class,
It's
right?
not every class.
It's
Well,
some.
It's like
I put it together already, so where they can just look at it and read it.
it's
like,
basically
we
the
just get
first
this notebook.
the first 2
Yeah.
weeks of every
Yeah, the first 2
marketing
weeks. When
year.
we started that, I sent you
Of
guys
every-
a bunch of
of
stuff
every
the first 2
marketing
weeks.
Okay, that's
Well, I'm
smarter.
talking to you instead of my microphone.
Yeah. So no, at the beginning we had all the notes, and I said, and you can refer back to it whenever you need to, because it's all the vocabulary, everything's all there.
We just have a notebook, and that like literally
like
everything
classroom.
has to be line for line, word for word, like everything.
That's so when
like
it gets
that.
graded.
Well, if
Yeah.
they need it, you go to classroom. That's it's all there.
No, it's giving
all
me
there.
great. Oh,
Yeah,
just
but
look
when
at
you
the
write
time.
it, you take ownership of it.
Yeah.
You've worked so hard to create this
True.
document, and the best part is when you grade it and you put your hand on the paper. It's like
Oh, and you feel the
raised.
backside
You
of
feel
it.
that
Yes,
knowledge.
yes.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Then I take them.
Yeah.
I keep them over the summer.
you
so when
burn
they
it?
come-
No.
No.
Fire.
When they come back, they get the same notebook. So when they leave class, that's one thing I've been teaching this for like 10, 11 years. Kids who've now gone to college, they get to college like, I know all this stuff.
Yeah.
They learn it in your classroom.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know.
Well, it's funny, even the kids that take it to just take it, they do know a lot of stuff in language and stuff. They know it. They
Right.
do know it. But
Right.
then there's a lot they don't know, but they pick up a lot more.
Yeah, and sometimes they'll refer back to it. So,
Yeah.
and as long as it's a positive experience for them,
Like some in the advanced class are like, wow, we know a lot now. Like,
yeah,
Yeah,
sucked a
I've
lot
been
in
like
there.
guilty of going back into the box, no one's looking, and just looking at the shots, making sure I kind of know what I'm doing. Like frame in frame, that got me for the longest time, and I was like,
Really?
what? Yeah, I don't know what it was about it, because I was like, okay, so literally a frame inside a frame,
yeah, but you're drawing attention to the
yeah, because that part just didn't click. So
Okay.
I was constantly referring back to making sure that I know what the shots
Right.
were and what they looked like.
But that's the thing. Like you probably, if you said you took photography,
Yeah.
like if you learn all that stuff in
Yeah.
photography and then you just
Yeah.
transfer it,
Headroom
you
and
know,
Yeah.
max
all that
headroom.
stuff.
No.
All angles, yeah.
All the angles, yeah. So a lot of we had tests, two big tests in the beginning of the year, and so they had to know the stuff, and they did well on it. So obviously they knew the stuff.
Right.
So,
Yeah, it's a weird thing.
but I guess we should be
Wrapping up.
wrapping up here. So, and
Yeah, I
you
think
could
we
talk
went-
forever.
We
Yeah,
went,
we
pretty
went
long.
over there, Ming. Huh?
Sorry about that.
No problem.
All right. Is
I love it.
anybody any other final thoughts? Love each other, be kind to each other.
Yeah, what's up?
So, just got to remind people that this Friday, 6:30 starts. Come a little early, get some good
Yes,
seats.
Yep.
There's a lot of seats. We want to pack it.
Definitely.
$5 at the door. Filmmakers are free.
Filmmakers free.
We got
50-50.
candy, soda.
I don't know.
Seltzer,
Something. Water.
drinks, water.
Keep
Yeah.
yourself quenched.
Yeah, keep yourself
Keep
quenched
yourself quenched.
in case the
Some-
AC breaks.
Some popcorn. Hopefully
That happened
not.
one year.
Really?
Oh, it was rough.
I was up in the booth for the first time the other night. I've never been up in that south booth on the top. I was
Oh,
filming
really?
down.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost
so.
fell out of that once.
Oh, dot.
Yeah,
one.
No, I stayed away.
You're pushed.
Well, there's a lot of stuff up there, so I had the camera set and we're ready to go. And they asked me, "Oh, can you?" Some of the kids talk louder than others, so can you move the microphone up and down?
Mm-hmm.
So the first kid was low, so I have the camera set. There's
Oh,
hardly
so you're
any
kinda
room, right?
go-
There's
yeah.
hardly any room. So all of a sudden, I have the camera set here, and I walk over, and all of a sudden, you just hear boom. Camera goes like this, shakes like crazy. I get the microphone, and I get up. I go, "I'm okay." Okay.
Oh,
and
my
then
God.
and then I people were watching the video go, "What? This shakes a lot in the beginning." I'm like, "Yeah, I kind of tripped and fell on the tripod."
Just a little.
Just a little trip, and you can see the camera go.
Oh my god.
Shakes just.
And it was one of your students who was hosting it, so he
You're so
he did
confused.
he did
I'm trying to think who it is. Might be Kai.
he's the one that does the
It'd be
song.
like, I have a
He does the song on the short
Kai. Yeah,
film.
it's Kai. It's Kai.
Yeah, Kai.
Yeah.
So I had to cut out his beginning part because it looks so bad when he's like.
A meteor hit.
There's an earthquake for like a second. Don't worry.
And you
that's
just
when
hear
the
me go,
meteor
"Oh!"
Yeah, that's what you should have said. Oh, sorry, it was an earthquake.
I didn't think you'd even hear my voice, but you just hear me go, "Oh!"
Right.
It's that video of the earthquake happening in the newsroom,
Right.
and it's
Oh,
just
yeah.
like, oh my god,
Right.
it's
They're
an
all like-
earthquake.
Hey, we had a kid shoot. I think it was The Little Mermaid or something one year, and he wasn't thinking. It was like he was filming one of the elementary things. He wasn't thinking what he was doing. He loved it as a kid. He's humming
Yeah.
it. He's singing, and
wow.
the camera's
Oh,
picking up
no.
everything you say. He's like, dude, what are you doing?
I feel like I'd be so guilty of that though.
Such a great song.
Well, hopefully
I can't help
that's
myself,
another
man.
thing they're adding in
just
next
feeling
year. I
karaoke
think they're
night.
going to
Just
work
feeling
on
it, you
the
know?
sound at North in
Yeah.
the theater because
Yeah, it sounds
it's
a little
really
weird.
It does because well, it'd be nice to hook into the system like you can, but we can't do that. But even on stage, like I was filming, and it was when all the older people came to watch. The senior citizens come to watch an episode or whatever, and they were singing, but when they were talking, it sounded muffled, and I couldn't even. I'm in the back, but I had all these older people turn around and go, "I can't understand what they're saying." Like
Right.
a lot of them were saying that. Like, but we like the singing, but we don't know what they're saying because it was all muffled because of the microphone.
Yeah, it's muddy. Yeah, I think they're going to overhaul all that stuff. So,
Yeah.
all right. Hopefully,
that's-
people come out.
I hope
Yeah,
so.
please
And hopefully,
come
a big
out.
successful thing, and then I got a big weekend because my film's playing on Sunday at another festival,
Congratulations.
so that's going to be a lot of fun. So
We're like, okay.
it's
okay,
festival
okay,
weekend, yeah.
okay.
But this one I'm in, I act in, so
That's cool.
that's very interesting. I'd even play it in front of everyone, but there is one bad word in it.
Oh,
so.
okay. I'm looking forward to taking
One.
a huge
One bad word.
nap.
Yeah. Right
I
now,
feel
No,
that.
maybe be Father's Day. Maybe I get to sleep in.
my
Something like
Father's
that
Day
might be
sleeping.
nice.
Yeah. So
Daddy, wake up! It's 5 a.m. No. Quit waking me up.
So I got a lot of editing, a lot of film work to do. We got
You
So
just
we-
see you with your blanket slowly just like suffocating
Just,
yourself.
like,
Like,
goes
5 more minutes.
Crawls up.
Yeah.
so we have well then I have a lot of film festivals coming up too. So it's busy time of year. Even though I thought it was gonna be a nice relaxing June, no, not so much.
No,
June's
but it's
never
all
around.
good.
It's all good. It's all good.
Good problems to have.
Good
as I say.
problems to have.
So what do? We sign off? Do we?
Yeah, so
Say-
that's it. That's it pretty much. Come June 15th, 6:30, $5 admission. Come check out. It's about 2 hours long, and that's about it. You see us on there? Say hello.
I was like, where do we?
You didn't have to use the swear jar.
Yeah.
That's good, right?
That was good.
All right. So thanks a lot for listening, everybody, and
thank you.
we hope to see you on Friday night. And maybe we could do this again next time around when we do another combination
Yeah, that'd be
film
great.
festival.
This was fun.
So we'll see. We'll get some more filmmakers in here. Thanks for
Yeah.
coming, you two. It was great to have you.
Thank you for
Yeah.
having us.
Apologies
Yeah.
for coming late. There's like mad traffic.
That's what I said coming in. It was mad traffic on here.
Yeah.
There's no reason traffic down here. There's 2 lights, and there's always traffic.
Yeah, the train was like, we caught the train and
Oh.
everything. I was like, oh, I'm
Yeah,
coming
it's all
late.
over. That's
Yeah.
fine though.
Yeah.
I think we
So,
were like 10 minutes late.
yeah.
We weren't in here that long.
We're always late. We went over late. So,
You had a good time.
Awesome time.
Awesome.
all right. Thanks so much, and that'll be it. And we'll see you Friday.
We'll see you Friday. Bye.
Sorry, mate.